Yes, people. We we are back live. We are back live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube for another Manchester United Liverpool show, Man United podcast, analysis at Anfield podcast. So please keep all your comments, all your questions, Manchester United or Liverpool related, please, people. Of course, as always, make sure you hit the like button on the video, whether you're watching this live right now or watching this back on the YouTube. Hit that like button, share across all the socials as well. All them social media apps you are indeed active on, share across all the socials. Make sure you're following me at That's Me Flawless and at Sarcasm City TV across all socials. And on top of those two things, make sure you subscribe to the channel Sarcasm City TV as well. It is road to 8,000 subscribers. I believe we're under 20 away now, so we are going to hit 8,000 subscribers in the next few days. But let's hit that like button, share across all the socials, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell when you do so as well, people. We got Ram in the building also, I think. Hey, is Ram, you there? What are you saying?
Yeah, I'm here, man. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm
I
good.
know.
I'm good.
I think obviously you had your headphones issues, so we got Ram in the building, and we got a special guest as well, making his debut on the channel. Too long. I literally said that to him before the show started, that I should have had him on beforehand, doing great work on his own channel. You see him on other channels, including the Big Six, obviously, Big Six Band, sorry, which we work closely with. Shout out to Monts and the whole Big Six Bands gang. But man from GTV Football, man like G is in the building. Yes, my brother, what are you telling me? You good?
I'm all blessed, my bro. Like Flawless said, bro. Like, well, I've been dying to come on the channel. I can't even lie, man. Watch it every evening when it comes to this time as well. This is my chill time. Yeah, I'm saying, and big up everyone in the chat. One thing I will definitely say, and this ain't no, I'm saying no like cap or nothing like that. When it comes to the evening chill time, you guys should be listening to Flawless. He's the only one at this time that is actually giving you some real good football insights and stuff like that. So, yo, today we're here to chat, man. Here to chat, man.
Here to chat.
Oh yeah, and big up Ram, man. Big up Ram too. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you and Ram.
It's already started, man. It's already.
What is? You know what? Let's start there. What is it? What did I miss between you two that has gone on? I want to know. We'll start with you, G, because G was on his case before we started. People called him an up, and I hear that because Ram is an up. So go on. What is it?
Bro, this is what I'm saying. If you're calling him an up, then you already know. Yeah, I'm trying to say, no. Rams is my guy. No.
Yeah.
Rams is my guy. Make sure you guys also going over to Rams channel as well and subscribing to his YouTube channel, please.
The link's in the title, and then someone and Warrior J's already dropped G's channel in the chat as well. So make sure you subscribe.
Big up Warrior, man.
G's channel is in the channel in the comment section, sorry, and Ram's channel is in the title. But yeah, he is an up. But shout out to Ram, a real one. But yeah, it is what it is. But large up to you lot in the chat also as well. Big up Sheik, I see you as well. Says, why can't Manchester United just be normal, man? It's toxic out here, not gonna lie. Hey, keeping up at Carrington, man. That's what we're on, man. Season 3, episode 6. Typical Manchester United, you already know. Big up to Warrior J in the cut as well. Dan G, I see you. Robert, I see you as well. Ravante as well. So large up everybody that is indeed tapped in. You lot are all real ones. Let's bump up the likes because we ain't even at double figures yet. So let's do that. Get your questions in. As you can see from the title, what we are going to be discussing mainly today. Liverpool, are they the surprise challengers to Manchester City? Are they the closest team to Manchester City? Can they challenge them? Can they win the league title? And of course, Sancho has deleted the tweet. So is he now all good? But we'll go to you, G, first and foremost. Where do you have you been surprised by Liverpool's start, or was you expecting it? Because you have got 10 points from 12. Has it surprised you? And are you looking? Do you believe you're the closest to Manchester City in terms of challenging?
In terms of being close to Manchester City, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I think that's we'll wait and see. It's still kind of early. You get what I'm trying to say? I feel it's still kind of early in order for us to really say we know who Man City are. I think everyone else is really battling for that second place to try and challenge Manchester City at the moment. But in terms of the surprise, yeah, 100%, man. I didn't really feel like we were gonna pick up the points that we did at the beginning of the season. So the fact that we've got 10 from 12, that's dope. You hear what I'm trying to say? With the only, would I say, downside being against against Chelsea in the first game of the season. So you're looking at that thinking, all right, at the end of the day, you've gone away to Stamford Bridge, you've gone away to St. James's Park, you beat Aston Villa, obviously Bournemouth. So you know that one you expect to win. Right now, I mean, I can't say nothing against Liverpool. As much as Liverpool annoy the hell out of me, I can't say nothing. Yeah, I'm trying to say I got to give the praise where the praise is due. And in terms of getting the wins, I don't agree with the football, but the wins are the wins. And right now, it's not really of a concern to me when it comes to Liverpool and in terms of like the way we're playing right now. I'm just like, all right, just get the W's. Obviously, if we're still playing like this come December times, yeah, we're going to be having a conversation still.
What is it about the football that you don't actually like? What is it?
I think with Klopp, it's obviously on the eye. If you don't watch Liverpool enough, you'll look at things and you'll just say, all right, well, you're winning, you're scoring, and all of that is all true, it's all factual. Liverpool scoring goals. You've got a couple players who are playing, obviously, I would probably say pretty decent. But as an overall, when you know what these players are capable of, like I know what these guys are capable of. I know what they can really do. We've seen these guys in their pomp. We've seen the Trents, the Van Dijks, the Salahs, the Robos, and all these kind of guys. I've seen these guys in their pomp. So when I'm watching them now, I'm like, you're trying to play a type of football that in my opinion, doesn't really suit the kind of players that we've got at the moment. But guess what? You're getting the W's now. So maybe this is something that could potentially work moving forward. And if it is, then you can sit there and say, you know what? Maybe this was always the intended plan. I've got reservations about that, though. I think it's something that's going to potentially hinder us moving forward. That's why I'm a little bit like, But again, right now, you can't say anything. They're getting the wins. They're moving forward, undefeated in 15 games. Things are moving at this current moment in time. I just don't know if this is going to be sustainable. And I think that's where sometimes the fan base, there'll always be a little bit of friction. People who agree with me and people who don't agree with me, because it will always be that case of, but we're winning though. But sometimes when you're winning, sometimes you can almost see, it's like, yeah, I can see you're moving too fast. You're moving too fast. It's like when
he broke up for you as well.
She might not even be the one.
You breaking up a little bit there, G?
Yeah, the last couple of moments.
Yeah.
Is it back?
Yeah, you're back.
Say something. Yeah, you're back. You're a bit.
I'm gonna leave and come back. Back.
No stress. That's all good. Give me a chance. Ryan's in the building as well. Yes, little bro. What are you saying? You good?
Yeah, man. You good? Yeah, good, yeah, man. Good. Yeah, big up all you, man. It's good to finally stream with G, man. I mean, he's just gone but yeah, man. G's a good guy, already. Man.
But yeah, G, yeah, he is 100%. 100%.
That was such a terrible timing, genuinely.
It really was. You can tell him when he comes back. You got Ram in the building as well with the fresh frames, clean white tee. You feeling fresh today, innit, Ram? Well, go on.
Bro, I'm the opposite of fresh, man. I feel tired.
Well, yo, Ram got some but you
got some new specs, bro. I got the new specs as well.
The new spectacles. You got the new spectacles and a plain white tee. Yo, what happened to you today? What girl's number did you get that you feeling fresh to death? What's going on? You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
hair freshly done and that, gelled and that. What's going on, Ram?
No, it's
you know
not.
What I'm saying?
I'm tired.
Are you sure?
I'm tired.
Sure?
It's so. Sure? If you look at it proper, it's so out of place, bro. It's out of place as hell.
Nah, that looks like that was in place. You know what I'm saying? I can say new spectacles, man. Fresh white tee. All right, but yeah, G, you're back going. Carry on, say what you were saying, my guy.
It's just one of them ones where it's like I said, it's just sometimes you can almost see that you're moving so quick that you don't really realize this might not really be right for you in the long term. Short term, like I said, unbeaten in 15 games, doing their thing. So people are obviously thinking, and Liverpool fans, rightly so, thinking that this might be the year we could do this, we can do that. For me, I'm just like, let me just wait and see. Again, if this continues up until like a December time, of course, now we're really looking at this situation and saying, yo, this actually might really be the thing. But I can't really judge it right now. It's too early. It's way too early to be judging really anything. Heck, I can't even call Man City the winners of the Premier League at this moment in time until we see a bit more longevity throughout the season. Okay. So that's just the way I feel.
You wait for more evidence before you start like making predictions in regards to who's winning the league, where teams are going to finish. All right, that's fair. That's fair enough. Ram, what do you say to that in regards to the football you're playing? Do you have any concerns over, forget like the results and like performances, do you have concerns long term, like G said, about the football? Or are you cool with the football?
At this moment in time, obviously if we're going off the base of the first 4 games, it's slowly improving. I can see slow improvements. If you go off the first 3 games, I'm like, this is not sustainable. If we keep winning like this, it's not gonna be long lasting. I think the Aston Villa game where we, in my opinion, I think we did really well. We dominated them and we kind of not allow them to go and counter us many times, that made us fear a little bit. That gave me a lot of confidence, being like, okay, there's something good that's happening, and we're going to be working with it, and it could be something that could we could build up and make a little charge up until January. So at this moment, it is baby steps. The football is gradually getting better, but again, it's not at that level yet. We still have to go through a couple of tough tests, and once from there, we could actually analyze and be like, okay, this is where the squad is at this moment in time. But so far, it's been okay, man. It's actually been quite good. We've got 10 points. Only City have got more points than us, but they got a perfect record. So far, so good.
Yeah, it's Ryan. What are you saying in regards to the football? Like I said, forget results, forget performances. Do you have concerns with the football long term? Are you cool with it and going, we can keep getting results?
I think the problem is it's still a bit unknown at the moment as well. We're still not fully sure what Klopp fully wants to implement as well. That's the thing. It's like, where does Gravenberch fit into all this? Like the Gravenberch signing was a bit like, okay, he's a good player, but where does he fit into all this? He's clearly been brought in, I think, as a potential like starter, and then you're not going to drop either McAllister or Szoboszlai. So it seems like all three of them, his eventual plan is to have them all three all play together at the end of the day. So I don't know how that's going to work. Yeah, that's the thing. There's a lot of unknowns. Could it work? Potentially, it's going to be interesting to see how Klopp tries to implement that. But that's the thing. It sounds good on paper. It sounds like you're going to be playing, total, this kind of total football system. Technical midfield. But at the end of the day, the balance in there is a bit worrying. You do feel like you do need a more natural kind of defensive midfielder. And Endo just isn't that guy. Endo's just a squad player, and we don't really have one. So that's the problem. I mean, the Villa game was very, very encouraging. I really like the Villa game because just the way I've said this before, I think that's the best I've seen us play in terms of a total performance from start to finish in probably well over a year. Like well over a year, to be honest. Not better than anything last season. I know we had like big wins last season, like the 7-0 and stuff like that, but when you think about those games, they were spells we had in a game. Do you get what I mean? We would have spells in a game where we would score 3, 4, 5, whatever. Whereas the rest of the game, we weren't that great. But the Villa game was something that we controlled the game from start to finish. And we never really gave them too much of a sniff, to be honest. So that was really encouraging. And I thought it was telling that McAllister played as the DM in that game, and he played a midfielder, McAllister, Jones, and Szoboszlai. Which kind of hints to me that his plan for this season isn't to really use an actual DM, and that's where Gravenberch, like I said, sort of comes into things. So I'm actually excited to see what his plan is at the end of the day, but it's just unknown what he's fully trying to implement and if it's going to work at the end of the day. It might not work because it might cost us defensively, but I do think on the ball we'll be a lot better. So let's just see, man. But it is quite exciting, to be honest, because it is something new, because it was getting very stale as well over the last year or so. Klopp just persisting with the same midfielders, same players and stuff, same kind of style. But now it does seem a bit different, and I'm kind of excited to see what it brings.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Do you think, Ryan, do you think, sorry to cut you like that,
that's cool.
But do you think it seems different because we've just got new players? Like, that's why it just feels different. I.e., are we not just still playing the same way, but just now with new players?
That's the thing. We don't really know yet because it's only been a few games. But like, I see what you mean. It does seem really different because it's basically a whole new midfield. It's just a whole completely different players. But it's more the profile of players that is a bit more surprising to me in terms of what he's brought. Like the Gravenberch signing, like I said, it just seems to me he's planning to integrate and play all three of them together, which is something that I would never picture a Klopp midfield being, to be honest with you. If you look at it, he's gone from having, over the last few years, Henderson, Fabinho, Wijnaldum, like Milner, etc., players who are more kind of known in the team more for the off-the-ball attributes than the on-the-ball attributes, let's be honest. But now you look at a McAllister, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, all three of them, have legs and everything, but they're more their strengths are more on the ball rather than off the ball. He's gone from one extreme in terms of a complete off the ball midfield to such a technical midfield that it does hint to me like some sort of changing or maybe evolvement of his style or something. I could be wrong though, to be fair, but it's just the profile of midfielders that kind of suggests to me that might be the case, to be honest.
That's fair. That's definitely fair enough. Fair enough. And Warrior J says, question for the Liverpool panelists: rate your first 4 games of the season so far, scale of 1 to 10, and what improvements would you want to see in Wolves away, West Ham at home, Spurs away, and Brighton away? There's some tough tests in that actually. In particular, of course, Spurs away, Brighton away, and West Ham are in decent form. We'll go to you first on that, G. In regards to this question here.
7 out of 10. Improvements. I would say the team are still too vulnerable, man. Yeah, I mean, he can play every DM he wants. Endo, McAllister, it don't make no difference. The team is so vulnerable. And I think he just needs to change the way that he's setting up, because I think with those players, you've got dope ballers there. Let's not even pretend like these guys are not good players. They are good players, but he's making it look like every 2 seconds we're just getting cut through. Do you guys say that Aston Villa game was the only game that I've seen this season where even really I've seen for months where I've actually said, oh, right, you know what? You didn't even give them a sniff. They didn't even get a sniff in that game. Like nothing. Like they had obviously a few bits here and there, but as an overall, they didn't really have a sniff. Whereas
going forward,
whereas like every other game, I'm like, bloody hell, man! Like they're definitely scoring a goal. Like I knew in the first 3. In fact, I thought it would happen against Villa. I knew in the first 3 games, Liverpool 100% conceding a goal. I don't even need to check any. I just know we're going to concede. What happened? Lo and behold, we conceded. So it's like that's where for me, he just needs to pattern it up, because the way that you're trying to get these players to play, I feel that they can be used a lot better than they are. I think the players that Liverpool have got right now, I promise you, there is a level that we can easily obtain if he just gets it right tactically. But we'll wait and see. I can only wait.
Okay, that's fair enough. Ryan, same to you with his question there from Warrior J.
In terms of results, I'd probably say an 8, to be honest, because I think to get 10 points out of 12, you know, from those games as well, playing Chelsea. I mean, we can all dish Chelsea all we want. Stamford Bridge away still sounded like a tough game.
It's not easy place to. It's not easy place to go and win. It's a comfortable place to not go. It's a comfortable place to not go and lose. But you don't necessarily win there,
because we actually should have lost that game. Really, based on the way we played, we should have really lost. But we came out with a draw, mostly because Chelsea is shit as well. Yeah, but like, I would have.
To be fair, that goal was a bit shitty as well. As in, it wasn't even a proper strike. It was literally just
the goal we conceded.
Missed Chelsea, man. You know what I'm saying? They're defense first, isn't it? Their defenders defend, their defenders score goals. So we know what.
But like,
it's facts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
their defense first. All their best players are defensive. Like even the goals.
Yeah, because you even look at their disallowed goal in that game was from Chilwell.
This is what
when he
it
was Chilwell.
Yeah, and Diassi scored the equalizer. Like, it tells you what you need to know about them. Look, they've only beat Luton. Well, that was a whole different conversation. But yeah, go on, carry
on. So if you'd have asked me before the season started, you get 10 points out of your first 12 games, I would have snatched your hand off for that, playing Newcastle away and Villa as well, who have done some good business over the summer, got a good manager, good team. So yeah, results-wise, it's great. Performances-wise, Chelsea was awful. Bournemouth, terrible start in that game. Like we started that game really badly. Like first 20 minutes, it was terrible. But I thought after that we actually played pretty well, in my opinion, from what I remember of that game. Especially when we went down to 10 men as well, we actually did all right as well. Newcastle away was a weird one because we weren't good, but we kind of showed great mentality second half. Klopp made the right changes and stuff, and we got out with the win, which was great, brilliant win. And Villa, like I said, was a brilliant performance, I thought. So in terms of performances, I'd probably say maybe like a 6 or something overall, because there have been a couple of kind of poor ones in there. But yeah, man, I just thought the Villa game, even though it's one game, was just really encouraging in my opinion. That's the thing, but like I said, it's still kind of too early to know what we're going to get for the rest of the season. So, but I think that the next few games, those are tough, man. Like Wolves away, I think we should win. Like Wolves aren't good, But the next three, West Ham is good because we're at home, so I'm kind of confident against
Yeah, as
pretty
you
much
should be. I get
everyone
that.
at home, really. But
Yeah.
Spurs away will be tough because Spurs are, they're not the Spurs from last season. It's looking like as well. And Brighton away, man. Even though I actually think we can beat Brighton away because I saw West Ham go there and I go 3-0 up there. Do you get what I mean? So I think Brighton are definitely beatable. I think
Definitely beatable, but it'd be tough.
yeah,
I
we
get what
can.
you're saying.
Yeah, I think we can definitely. I think we could win any one of those games, but I don't think we'll win all four or anything. I think we'll probably we'll beat Wolves. I think we'll beat West Ham because we're at home. I can see us drawing the 2 away games, to be honest with you.
Okay, nah, fair. Same to you, Ram. What you saying?
Like the guy said before, I think it's been a good start from us at the start of the season. I think, in my opinion, it is a 7.5, 7 out of 10, purely for the fact of the results and performances wise. The only solid performance I'd say was the Villa game. Everything else was a little bit touch and go, especially that Newcastle game where, to be fair, when it comes to the expected points, we were meant to lose that game. And somehow we end up getting 3 points. So there's stuff to be happy about. There's stuff that we still need to improve on. But yeah, so far it's been a good start. I think it's fair to say. Being third in the league, 2 points behind City, is the only team that has a 100% record. And being on the same, people have been saying that we're going to be again challenging for top 4 when we're on the same level as the likes of Tottenham are having a brilliant start, and Arsenal are meant to be title challengers as well. It's a good start, man. It's a good start. And in terms of these upcoming fixtures, like Ryan said, Wolves away, it should be a walk in the park. I've seen them play for the last couple of games, and they have been very, very poor. Very, very poor. West Ham at home, I'm a little bit more confident with the fact that we are at home. West Ham don't have a great record against us at Anfield. To be fair, we didn't even play that well last season, and we still ended up beating them. Granted, it wasn't Alisson penalty save, but yeah, those 2 games, I think it should be 6 points. The only problems are Spurs away and Brighton away. I think I'm a little bit more concerned about Spurs away, even though, again, we got a good record at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Feel-good factors back. Andrew's playing good football, and Tottenham are just growing from strength to strength, and that is a problem. I think against Brighton is a little bit more easier because it's not the same Brighton of old. It wasn't Brighton of last season where they had the likes of Mac and Caicedo and people like that, or even Levi Colwill. This is a new Brighton who's still trying to find their feet. I think the game against Newcastle, they weren't that amazing. I think Evan Ferguson just had a great game and was clinical that day. But you saw against West Ham, they were not that great. And they could be get at, in my opinion, if we play a football and we play right. So yeah, man, in my opinion, I think it should be expectation-wise minimum 8 to 9 points.
First?
Minimum.
First?
If we get 12 points or even 10 points again, then solid.
That's a great return.
Yeah.
Well, I fully get that. Large up to everyone that's locked in the chat as well. Big up to Jacko, who says these midnight lives are good vibes, top stuff. Big up Flawless. Hey, large up, man. I know you lot enjoy it. For night owls in the UK or who are in a similar time zone. Obviously, people who are elsewhere, I know it's different times because we get people from all over the world watching Sarcasm City TV. So big up to you, whether you're watching this live right now or watching this back. Bump up the likes, though. Likes is way too low because there's over 45 of you lot in the building. Only at 20 likes. Like check 1212. Let's double the likes. Let's get up to 40 likes, people. Hit that subscribe button as well because we are indeed closing in on 8,000 subscribers. We're at 7,982 people. Get us to 7,985. Only looking for free subscribers. And make sure you subscribe to Ram's channel as well, the Ram Stand. The link is in the title. So you click the link, it opens up a new tab, and then that way you can just subscribe to his channel and find all his socials and everything he's got going on over there as well, people. G's also back in the building too as well. And just to Warrior J, you asked me about this, I just throw a United question. Flawless thoughts on Sancho deleting the tweet. What I take from it is that he had the conversation with Ten Hag, so it's kind of like it's all been discussed, everything's been said that needed to get said, and now it's been deleted. That's cool, and now we just move on. I really still don't think it's that big of an issue. A lot of people said, oh, it's disrespectful to the manager. And it's like, the manager called him out publicly. And again, I will reiterate this every time I'm asked about this Sancho situation. I will not criticize him for doing something I would have done. Because if I was in Sancho's situation and the manager criticized me publicly, I would respond back publicly. I would have done more. I would have pinned it on my Twitter. I would have posted it on my Instagram and pinned it. I would have pinned it on Sarcasm City TV if I had my own YouTube channel. I would have pinned it on The Kick. I would have pinned that message everywhere. Like, that's just how I am, though. If I'm criticized publicly, I'm going to respond publicly. And then people say, oh, well, if it was Pep, or if it was Klopp, or if it was Sir Alex, would he have responded like that? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe if it's someone who he had a closer relationship with, maybe he doesn't respond back in that fashion. Maybe, but I'm just saying I would. I don't care who it is. It could have been Sir Alex, could have been Pep, could have been Klopp, Ancelotti, whoever the case may be. So I'm not going to critique him and call him unprofessional. People can claim it's unprofessional. I don't care about your title. Once you critique me somewhere, I can critique you in that same place, especially if I think you're wrong in the critique. And that's what Sancho thinks. Whether or not that's true or not is a whole different conversation. Because what he criticized Sancho for was training. None of us watch training. So me and nobody else talking about this has no idea, because I've seen certain Manchester United fans try and run with that. Or he's a bad trainer. How do you know? How do you know? You have no idea whether he's a bad trainer or he has a bad attitude. Do you know him personally? How do you know if someone has a bad attitude by how they are on a football pitch, or he's a bad person to have around? Again, how do you know? Let's not act like we know him as a footballer. We don't know him as a person. We could be the best trainer for all we know. We simply don't know. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. But draw a line under it, and we'll probably see Sancho back in the team as well. Large up to Victoria, who said, hey, babe, what's going on with this Melt Maguire? He probably has Southgate's nudes. Must be something because he keeps getting picked. Useless shy. Southgate's just a terrible manager, Victoria. That's all I can tell you. Southgate's just a terrible manager. That's why he continues to pick Maguire. That's why. What did he say about Foden? Or I won't play him central midfield because he doesn't play there for City. But you play Manchester United's fifth choice centre back week in, week out. Well, not week in, week out, but you play him every time, you know what I'm saying, on international duty. But big up to you, Victoria, every single
and
time.
And then you playing Trent in midfield, genuine midfield, when like
you don't play midfield. Like that's just when you run out of like excuses. Like that's what it is, man. With him. Yeah, like that. He's just not a very good manager, and he is the thing holding England back. Because when I was watching England today, in particular in the first half against Scotland, some of the moves they put together, I was like, rah. I was like, is this England I'm watching? Like, they was bopping the ball around. And then when you realize the amount of attacking talent they actually have, and then you think, we're going to give this to Gareth Southgate, something's gone wrong. There's no way you should give that amount of quality in terms of just from an offensive standpoint to Gareth Southgate. When you had Kane, Rashford, Foden, Bellingham, brought on Saka, you got a Maddison to throw in that mix, you got a Grealish to throw in the mix as well as kind of like Trent, who they even play today. Like the list goes on. Kyle Walker, obviously he was out there as well. Reece James. How much more attacking talent do you need? And England rely on set pieces. That tells you all you need to know. They rely on set pieces like they West Ham. All that attacking talent, and England go to tournaments and it's corners and free kicks like they were. But then he don't take Ward-Prowse. That's what makes no sense. They rely on set pieces, but you don't take one of the best set piece takers in Europe. Surely you take. I'm not saying start Ward-Prowse, but I'm saying take him. Who else do you want on a free kick towards the end of a game in extra time? Yeah, go on.
Flawless. You already know, though, bro. Maguire and Calvin Phillips are still starting and playing games. So the reality is, he's not even thinking, let me bring James Ward-Prowse, set pieces late in the game. Like, he's not going that deep into his thought process. His thought process is, you know what, these lads are good. It's a bit like having that, almost like having that supply teacher who always knew he had a good group of people that he could always rely on in the class who were going to do what was needed to be done. And they were the nice guys in the class. Yeah, calm. So he's happy teaching that math class every Wednesday. He's good with that. That's what he's doing here. So that's why I've said it before. The way that England moved and have moved, the gas that people talk about, this is the best England manager. Yeah, on paper, of course he is. He's got to a semi-final, a final, a quarter-final, all these things. He's done all of that. But are we really saying that we're looking at this group of players, and is he really utilizing them properly? Come on, man, we got to be real. He's doing as good as anybody else I've seen in this job, if I'm being 100% honest with you.
Facts. And it's like they give it to me. If you give someone, if like, because you've seen how far he's gone in competitions, it's kind of like if there was someone who was just even competent, I'm not even saying exceptional. Like, forget even being a Pep or a Klopp level. I'm just saying someone who's of a competent level, above average. I think
Alan
when sitting with
Pardew.
this group, I don't even say all that. Like, for instance, I'm trying to think of a manager. Like, I think Eddie Howe probably wins something with this.
Yeah.
I think Eddie Howe legit wins some with like you're playing at home. Like the Euros is the one that sticks out. You're at home against the Italy side that's not great, and you go a goal up. And then you look at who they bring off the bench, and you look at who you bring off the bench, and you just look at your lack of attacking impetus, and it's kind of like, how much more do you need? But people are gonna hype him up because he reached the final, because he's reached the semi-final.
Even if you look at the teams that we played along the way,
I was gonna say that.
As in we played Czech Republic, Scotland, and Croatia. Croatia, I'd say, is a decent team. Germany, which me and a couple of people on the terrace were the only people that are saying, I'm not scared of Germany at all. This team ain't that great. And someone like a Raheem Sterling or someone with a lot of pace up front is going to cause them a lot of problems. And then we played Ukraine, where we just dominated. I think, was it Ukraine that we played, or was it Sweden?
Yeah, in the Euros it was Ukraine, and then it was Denmark. Then
it was Denmark, where, to be fair, we got a little bit lucky in the sense that we got a fortuitous penalty, which I still think it was a penalty, which Harry Kane missed and then ends up scoring.
Rebound, yeah.
But again, it's a team of England's quality against Denmark, who, look, they have some really great players. I think they, obviously, what happened with Christian Eriksen at the Euros also galvanized them a lot.
Yeah.
But again, we have qualities. We're at home, as in the expectation should be we should be beating them at 90 minutes. And again, like you said, against Italy, 1-0 up after 3 minutes. And then some really odd changes. And even then, no control of the game. No one. It looked as though Chiesa was the only player that was actually doing something, and we just didn't want to. We just allowed him to do it. We didn't even stop him. And then a stupid corner kick that we didn't even defend properly. People not marking their man. Some people getting out jumped by Marco Verratti, which is a crime in itself because he's about 5'4". And again, it's a bit. You could have done better. Is there always what could have been? It's always been with England what could have been. But I feel as though with this team and with these players that we've got, we could have done a lot better.
I'll be honest, even the World Cup you just look at now, like the teams they beat in the group were like, was it Iran? Everyone got gassed over scoring 6 against like Iran, wasn't it? Then they played like
teams
Wales.
We played against, if us four had that any of those any of those nations in our bloodline, we could have probably pitched up and played for.
Yeah,
100%.
of course.
Like,
and it's like, and then
carry on.
They played Senegal, I think, in the last 16, and then the first time they come up against a good side, they lose. And to be honest with you, I didn't even think France were good that game.
They
I didn't think France played that well.
They were not good,
and they still lost. England, we still lost.
They were
France
not
weren't
good.
even good.
Only player that was probably good was many, but even then he wasn't that great.
Yeah,
and then I see
Many gave away the penalty.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
he scored a great goal, but he gave away the pen. Like
you would have been calm if they boxed us off the park like Spain 2008 type of football. We would have been like, all right, you're not winning against that team. Even if you play Steven Gerrard and someone else in it, it's not going to happen. But they weren't even popping, and that's why it's just embedded in England's culture, like from 1966. You come up against, it's like you can't seem to get over this line of come up against a decent team. You just falter, bro. Like, I don't understand it. Like, my whole life, that's all I've seen. But that can't be your mentality when you're trying to boast. We've got the best league in the world. We've got some of the best.
Look at 66, right? If you look at that team, that Germany team, had ballers, had a load of ballers. That Beckenbauer was the guy back then. And we still ended up beating them. And we could argue that team wasn't as good as that Germany team. So why is it that all of a sudden now, where we have teams where even then we're not better, even though we're not better than them or we are better than them, we still have this knack of just acting like we're not that good or we're too good of a team that we should be beating them. You know,
Thing is, I don't think
it's still to
England.
the players.
I don't think England could have asked for a better chance to win the World Cup than the last one, because even the semi-final against Croatia a few years before, England wouldn't have beaten that France team in the final, because that France team was actually, you know, that with
It was
teenager Mbappe, that France team was like so good. But if they'd have just beaten France in the quarterfinal, this one, which France did not play that well, like we said, they would have been favourites against Morocco in the semi-final. Like, with all respect to Morocco, and they had a brilliant World Cup. England would have been favourites to win that, definitely. Then suddenly you're in the final against, I'll be honest, an Argentina team that won the World Cup. But I didn't think Argentina were that special either.
I think Messi was just special.
It's a team they could have beaten. That's what it is. Even if you're not favourites for a final, anything can go on in a final. You know what I'm
Saudi Arabia beat the Argentina team, bro. Like, they're beatable. They were beatable. Like, you couldn't have asked for a better chance to win a World Cup.
I didn't even think about it like that. I did not even think.
Even if you look at the centre backs, we know them as well. Majority of the players that play, Otamendi, Romero, McAllister was playing for the Di Maria. These are players that these guys know and know their weaknesses. You know, so it is just one of them ones where you're like,
are we not just? I'm so real. Are we not just bored of England? Like, I'm even bored of this story. Like this story of England throughout my whole life has always been: you had the players, but you didn't have the manager. Okay, calm, cool, no worries. Now you've given them the manager. You've seemingly given them the players. Man, tell me about Foden, Saka, Trent, and Bellingham, Kane, and all these guys, and then still nothing. Like, after a while, I'm so bored of England, bro. I'm so bored.
You know why, G? Because if you compare the pool of players that we have to the pool of players across Europe, we are, other than France, we are better, arguably. Even to an extent, I think the Spain team is just a couple of years younger.
In my lifetime, I still ain't seen England win that. So all of that.
It's the manager, man. They've never got the manager right. It's the people making the decisions.
They never got the balance of any team right. They've never got the
manager right. They didn't. But the thing is, where I will be more defend more them not winning anything. Because when you look at the teams that I was around in when Scholes and Gerrard and Beckham was around, Scholes said it in his overlap. If we were the golden generation, what were they? Platinum. Go look at them other teams. Like, there's a list. I think it's from the 2006 World Cup, and like I think it's on the gram somewhere. And it's like all the starting lineups. England were the best. I can forgive losing to them. This England, like
no,
the Euros
I'd argue
and
2006.
the World Cup,
2006, we had a chance, but people weren't picked. People weren't picked.
I'd have to go back and check the teams. But
this is where we lost against Portugal.
2000.
Was it one Italy won, wasn't it?
Italy won it, yeah.
I'd have to go back and check the teams because if I remember,
I think Italy had obviously France had like a lot of their players were like still back in the '98 World Cup. Like Thuram was still playing, Zidane was there.
I'd have to check it out in terms of age, but I remember there.
I don't know who the I think Bartes might have been the goalkeeper as well, man. It's a lot of the team was just old, and obviously they had like a young Franck Ribéry there. Trezeguet was there as well.
What was Brazil saying in 06?
Brazil was like Kaká, Robinho, yes. Ronaldo when he was past it, Ronaldinho after Barcelona when he won everything. Like, it was like a good team, but it wasn't like fully functional.
Was it better than the England team?
I don't think it was. I think in terms of overall quality, it wasn't.
I'll have to check it out. That Brazil, I can't remember the 2000
because that was Zidane's last tournament, isn't it?
Like, that was his last one.
Oh yeah, that's when he headbutted. He headbutted Materazzi.
Materazzi, yeah. To be fair, I think any player would have done that. No, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, he was a madman. We know what he's like. You know what I'm saying? And that. We know what he's like. I'm just having a look at this Brazil team in 2006 to see. I'm trying to actually like jog my memory in regards to who was in the squad and see what it was saying in regards to it. I'm looking here. Let's see. So you got
brother. We was in a group with Trinidad and Tobago and Paraguay. That is brave. Big up on my Trini, though.
Ah, shit, yeah, we went back. Yeah. Yeah. These man had, I forgot Ronaldinho was there in 06. Yeah. They went better than these, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at this team still not, even though
No, but
it's a
even if you
Ronaldo that's not
look at that,
they got two of the best players on the planet at that point in Ronaldinho and Kaká. They're two of the best players on the planet.
no, but even then, I completely understand that. But again, we wouldn't have faced them because they got knocked out by France in that point. Our main opponent at that point, if we got past Portugal, was France. And again, you're telling me, I'm still wondering why Paul Scholes and Steven Gerrard never played together when that actual combination actually worked.
Yeah, that was the combination. Was that not the combination when they won 2-1? I mean 5-1 against Germany away? It was those two in the midfield, if I remember correctly.
You see on this whole Gerrard, Scholes, Lampard, this whole debate here. I was thinking about this the other day. Do we all sit here now, today, hindsight 2020? Because back them times, I know obviously we can sit here and say, nah, you could have played all three in a 3-man midfield and rare, but that wouldn't have been in the thinking to kind of do back then. That wasn't really the way that we would.
Do you know why I can't allow that, G? Because they did do it. Because they played like Hargreaves and Michael Carrick in the holding role when they were playing. And I'm like, that's why I never give them the excuse.
So out of that three, let's say Gerrard, Scholes, Lampard, who's the holding player?
Michael Carrick. Gerrard Scholes and Lampard, or none of them.
Goals.
You have to sacrifice.
Scholes was more able out.
But it's not a question of holding.
Well, I don't think none of them.
Yeah, what you would do is just play Scholes like in a deep lying playmaker role, and then play Lampard and Gerrard off of it.
Exactly. Yeah. That wouldn't have been in the thinking to have done back then. To say, remember back then times there. Remember, we're talking about a period of time where it was more like I'm playing whatever system I'm playing 4-4-2, 4-3-1, 4-5-1. Yeah. DM is DM, i.e. Makalele, don't cross that white line, my guy. As in, I don't want you crossing that line. You're staying here. Not Gerrard, Scholes, and Lampard ain't doing that. Yeah, they're not doing none of that. They're trying to play their own type of football. And I don't think we were innovative enough at that period of time to think like that. Obviously, of course, bro, we look at it now. Most of us, if we're playing FIFA or Football Manager, you're playing 4-3-3 or some kind of variation of that 4-2-3-1. Like, we start inventing little things. Bro, man's playing Scholes, like deeper. Gerrard, do the box to box. Lampard, you just playing that kind of 8/10 position. Like, yeah, now I can stay with that. Back then, I definitely was not thinking, let me play Scholes in the deep line playmaker. I didn't even know what deep line playmaker was. I don't even think they knew what that was. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I think I agree with you, Ram, 100% in terms of the role. Like, of course, Scholes can do that. You know what I'm saying? He can pick up a pass like a Javi, like all them type of guys. But back then, we were not thinking that at all.
Would you argue that? Would you argue
on a manager to drop one of him? Like
my mate,
you've seen it. That's what
I say this a lot, and it triggers a lot of Chelsea fans. Frank Lampard ruined the actual system that was actually working. Because think about it, Paul Scholes and Gerrard was the perfect combination. Because Scholes needed a Roy Keane, who better else than Steven Gerrard. Gerrard needed a Xabi Alonso. Who else better than Paul Scholes? It would have worked.
I feel like they would have. Again, I agree with you, but Lampard would have deserved being in the team over Gerrard anyway. At that period of time, it was Lampard. Bro, he was banging goals. His team were winning Premier League. He was doing too much. Like at that period, Gerrard wasn't really doing. He was doing a lot, but if you compared it to Scholes and Lampard. Remember, again, back them times, it was all about, are you winning? Are you doing something? Do you play for a top team? Like, it wasn't about now where you pick
had to sacrifice a striker. You had to sacrifice a striker. You had to sacrifice either Owen, Defoe, or Peter Crouch.
Bro, we was playing Heskey up top, one man, and trying to do... Bro, we've done the craziest... Like, you remember the team, bro. I've seen Heskey up top, Gerrard running in behind. I'm like, yo, what is even going on when I'm seeing Heskey up top? And this is a Heskey not in his prime time. This is Heskey later on.
Not with Owen.
Not with Owen. Yeah, exactly. Not with Owen. You know what I'm saying? Heskey's still riding through and Owen's doing up whatever. Like, listen, England, I think Florence, you said it there. It's like, we've just never matched it. It's never been a good manager with the team or team with the manager.
That's it. You have to. If you have Lampard, Gerrard, and Scholes, you either figure out a way to use all three, or you drop one of them.
Yeah.
Literally, like that's what you have to do. This whole thing, you mentioned it. This ain't FIFA. This is not Football Manager where you can just shoehorn all the best players, and it don't work like that. You need balance because. Mourinho at Chelsea was going to use, he tried to sign Gerrard twice. He was going to have them both in the same midfield with Claude Makelele. So can it work? Yes. Would it have worked? Yes, 110%. But you know, he wouldn't have played Gerrard, Lampard, and another like
I
offensive
think he
midfielder in
signed
there.
Balak instead.
Yeah, but he wasn't. But my point is, he wasn't gonna sign Gerrard and play Lampard, Gerrard, and another offensive midfielder in there. You know what the plan was. He was gonna have balance in there, and that's.
I don't think anyone
they
had
need to
the
do.
balls to actually say you can't play. I don't
that's the
think
problem.
Sven was the. I don't think any manager would have told anyone, to the press, to the media, to the players, to the fans, that this player is not going to play because he just doesn't fit. He can be an incredible super sub, but he's just not going to be.
I'm actually. Bro, we've seen Danny Welbeck up top in tournaments. We've seen Peter Crouch. Like, I'm bored of England. Like, England can go top for like him. Like, listen to the names I'm saying. Like, Peter Crouch. No disrespect, by the way, to these guys. They've had periods of time in their career, but I'm sorry, man's not watching Peter Crouch through the phone. This little enlarged, like, bro, we can't compete, man. We can't compete with these guys.
I always thought Peter Crouch could have been a great cheat code. Just cross the ball in and hope
No, he should have been utilized for what he is when you're at international football. Plan B.
Yeah.
That's what you should be. Same way we've seen Fellaini get used at club level. I say all the time, people will criticize.
To be fair, for Belgium,
Fellaini.
he was solid. He was
But
solid
as a
for
plan
Belgium.
B, get the ball out wide, whip it into the box for the big man as a
And
plan
who
B.
else better?
Yeah,
Who else better?
Thing is,
David Beckham.
I do feel like Peter Crouch's heading wasn't anything special though either.
He wasn't the best aerially, but when you're 6'7", the ball can just hit you and just
You're gonna
like,
win
you're just
some,
there.
yeah.
Just automatically. Like that's what I'm talking about. Like I just spoke about Ward Prowse earlier. He's in that same bracket for a different. How don't you have him on the bench as a plan B? How?
Yeah,
you don't have
I
one
agree.
of the best set piece takers we see week
It's a
in,
weapon,
week out.
like.
And it's like, all right, just have him for extra time. Just as a squad. You ever scored a 24, 25? Have him as just there, just in case. Who better to have on a free kick? Like Rashford missed a free kick in the last tournament, if I remember correctly, was it against France?
In the last minute,
In the last minute. Why not have Ward Prowse there? Bring him on and go. It's like
it's also something where
but yeah, go on.
It's such a good mental thing to have it if you have someone like Ward Prowse in terms of imagine you bring a Ward Prowse on and the team's there like
who's the goalkeeper? Who's the goalkeeper for France?
We can't afford to give any corners away, no free kicks away. You know,
Ryan, think about who was the goalkeeper for France? Hugo Lloris. Who else better knows how good James Ward-Prowse is at free kicks? Who would be shitting their pants that there's a free kick in the edge of the area and Ward-Prowse is around
and
it?
You rely on set pieces. They do that. What is it? The train attack. You know what I'm saying? Where they'll line up on corners and then they'll all split. So I'm like, why would you not utilize that? But hey, that's
people we're not like when you think about Spain, right? I always think about Spain as the team. We don't have a situation where one of the best free takers in the world is actually in their starting 11. Is actually a baller in Xavi or Xabi Alonso or someone like that. The best free kick taker that we have is on the bench, but he's not good enough to start. The other free kick takers, they're decent, but they're not that level. And I don't understand why we can't utilize any form of weapon in our arsenal that could help us out. And we want to utilize people like Harry. So you want to back Harry Maguire until the ends of the earth. Use what he's good at. He's good at heading a ball. That's it. Just whip the ball in, put the ball in the box, and hope to God he heads the ball, and it goes into the net.
Hey, Flawless, man. I beg you lot sell Harry Maguire because I'm seeing him in the England team way too much, man. Like, and I feel like it's Man United fault a little bit. Like.
Hey, what more can we do? He plays more for them than he does for us. England FC.
You're paying him, man. I'm not feeling it, bro.
Hey, we tried to move him on, and he didn't want to move because of the money. And we make bad decisions. We should have just paid him off. If he wanted 5 million, 7 million, 10 million, but I could be here for the next 2 hours talking about bad decisions Manchester United make. Yeah, go on, Ryan.
The worst is seeing Calvin Phillips there today. I mean, this Harry Maguire has played some football over the last couple of years. Calvin Phillips hasn't even played any football. What's he doing there, bro?
He still looked pretty decent, though. His passing is not gone. He's still got that range in him, so fair play to him. But again,
No,
why
he's
is he
a better midfielder than what Maguire is a defender. We all know that. But the guy's not played any football in the last couple of years. I don't know what he's doing there still.
Don't,
At least
don't you
Maguire's
think
played
that's
some.
demoralizing? Like for any player trying to come into the team, wouldn't you like? If say if you like, say any of us here were trying to get an England team. Let's just say we played in Calvin Phillips' position, and we will do. Let's say we were doing Will Prowse as an example, yeah, and we're doing our thing. I've moved clubs. You know, my boyhood club. I'm staying in the Premier League, trying to get in the England squad. You know what I mean? I'm playing every week. I played 36 games last season in the Prem. This season, I'm playing all the time. Yo, I'm on smoke. But guess what? I can't get in the team with Calvin Phillips in the team.
Sounds like
how does that conversation even go? Like, you Gareth Southgate can't come to me now and say, "Oh yeah, I did it for this reason." Don't call me again.
It's demoralizing, yeah, because it's not based off of. It's nothing. I can do nothing on the pitch in terms of change it. Like people say, oh, if you just train hard and work hard and perform well, he don't get on the pitch and still playing. So I have no chance of getting in. If he's not playing and he still gets in, I have zero chance. Because me just getting on the pitch and performing even to an average level, I'm automatically ahead of him. Because Calvin Phillips, like Ryan said, don't play. As Calvin Phillips even started 2-3 games in a row at Manchester City. And he's been there now a season and a little bit. Like, what are we doing here?
I can't lie. If I'm Ward Prowse, I'm checking where my ancestors are from.
Switch allegiance.
Yeah,
I could play for somewhere. That's what I'm doing if I'm
Maybe you can
Ward
play for
Prowse.
Scotland or for Wales or something like that.
Brutal. I don't see. That's why a lot of people are doing this. Like I heard Gareth Southgate has been he's been watching what's my guy's name, man? Elise. Apparently, like he liked Elise. I'm like Elise. I beg you don't even
Don't
switch
do it,
to say French or whatever African country you're from. I beg you just go there. Don't even come to England.
I think it's too late.
No, he hasn't played for France before. He hasn't played for France.
Oh, he hasn't played for France.
No, he's only played under 21s. Like he's only done that, so he can still technically play for England. Technically, if he wanted to. So I'm like, yeah, nah, don't do that. Because as much as I like Saka's not leaving that position. I promise you right now, he's definitely not leaving that position. He will just play there for years and years to come until he gets like super shit. So.
And big up to V1 as well for the super chats I get to. Says name a realistic manager to manage England who's available right now. Trying to think. I don't even know. I'd have to check on like in terms of who's available.
Isn't Potter unemployed?
Potter is, yeah. Potter would be a shout. Potter would be a shout. 100% with the football.
Paul's not a bad manager. That's what people have to remember. He's not a bad manager.
He just got Chelsea. That's all. But yeah, Potter
definitely. Don't give him shit players.
Yeah. If you give him them attacking players, you've seen what he did at Brighton. Potter's definitely a shout. Or maybe someone who's a little bit more. I'm trying to think because
do you reckon Eddie Howe would leave Newcastle for the England job? I think he would.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. Eddie Howe's definitely a shout.
I think he knows at some point at Newcastle he's not going to last.
Yeah.
I think everyone kind of knows he's that kind of fill gap or whatever you want to call it until for the top manager to come in and try and take them over the line eventually. I think we all know he's not really going to be that guy.
It says a lot. It says a lot though. It's been, I don't know if this is true. It's been about 50 years since an English manager won. 40 years since an English manager won the Premier League / the First Division title.
Yeah, the English managers are just some of these English managers. Yeah, they're just not very good.
We haven't had an English manager win the Premier League ever.
What?
Like ever since '92, no English managers won the Premier League.
Yeah,
that is crazy.
Name 3 good English managers.
They're all ours.
Yeah,
that's like we gotta go back to Paisley days.
Yeah, because they're all good to a level. Like the ones who you mentioned, like Allardyce will do you a job at certain points, but to go and win a Champions League or a Premier League, Allardyce is not your guy for that. Pardew, you know what you get. Moyes, we see it at West Ham. He did the same thing at Everton. He's doing it at West Ham. That's his level. If you have a certain level, if you're mid-table side and you need stability, picked up a European trophy as well.
Hey man, he's got as many European trophies as Arsenal now, isn't it? Like,
it's facts. This is what I'm talking about. You spitting? Go on. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. It is. So yeah,
some people are talking about Lee Carsley.
Who?
Yo, let's move on. I'm tired of hearing the names that you even like. Lee Carsley,
like Lee Carsley.
Yeah, people talking about O'Leary and Wilkinson. Yeah, and hey, Victoria, shut up in the chat. You're a Leeds fan. Enjoy the championship, you clown. But yeah, there you go. She always just on my case. Shout out to Victoria, though. On that note, name your top 3 in the Premier League. What's this? What's PSFLSG? What are you talking
Goals,
about?
Frank Lampard season.
Okay, he's talking about that. Oh yeah, the usual debate. I'll say mine quick. I think it's Scholes, Gerrard, Lampard. That's just me personally. That's it. Oh yeah, Ibrahim, why is he Scottish? Yeah, you're right, but I was just using him as an example in regards to he's like Sam Allardyce at a certain level. That's what
Alan
it was.
Pardew.
Yeah, like of that level. But yeah, for me, Scholes, Gerrard, Lampard, but all 3
Gerrard,
fantastic
Scholes,
top
Lampard.
quality.
And I'd
top
argue
quality
all
ballers.
3 are disrespected by everybody else across the world.
That's fair. Well, that's fair. Top quality ballers. Absolutely top
Yeah,
quality
but
ballers. But
Gerrard, Scholes, Lampard for me.
yeah, Ryan, what are you saying on these 3 real quick?
Gerrard, Scholes, big gap, Lampard.
This guy, you're such a
I
troll,
had to
man.
get that in, innit?
Go on.
I just feel like those 2 are way better players still. That's just, I've always thought that still.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Gerrard, Scholes,
First.
Lampard.
But I think
Scholes is more my type of player, though. Like, I prefer Scholes than Gerrard.
I said this to G multiple times, as in like, is the way you see football. As in, for me, Gerrard is more of a match winner, and I feel as though those kind of players are very, very, very hard to find compared to a dictator like a Xavi or Scholes. I think people like if you talk about box to box match winners, probably Gerrard, Ballack, Mateus, and I think that's pretty much it, in my opinion. Then you got your Scholes that can dictate play and do all that, and also be box to box at the same time. You could probably think about, again, Scholes, Xavi, to an extent, Pirlo, who could probably do it, but not do the box to box thing like that. Those kind of players. I just prefer match winners, in my opinion. They're so much more valuable, in my opinion.
First. But hey, V1, big up for the super chats as well, man. Much appreciated. Obviously, we started talking about England, but this is Sarcasm City TV. You don't know what time it is. But yeah, get your final few questions in regards to Liverpool and in regards to Manchester United as well. And I know some of you lot put some stuff about the Sancho in terms of the response, because Me309 says, flawless, but he's being paid millions. It's still a bit unprofessional to do that. Just turn off your phone. Here's what I'd say to that. Yeah, people can say it's unprofessional. Cool. Like I said, I'm not going to criticize him for something I would have done. The manager critiques me publicly. I'm criticizing publicly, especially when I think I've done nothing wrong. That just makes it even worse. So people can call it unprofessional. Like, I'm not, just because someone has a title doesn't mean I'm not going to talk back if I'm criticized. And that's anyone, like I said, any manager, anyone, family, whoever the case may be. If you criticize me publicly and I think it's unfair, I'm going to critique you publicly, whether I'm paid 300k a week, I'm paid £300 a week, or I'm paid £3 a week. Makes no difference. It's nothing to do with salary to me. But people, can they see it as unprofessional? Yeah, call me unprofessional. I don't care. Like, that's what it is. Like, the manager has opened up that door, and I will reiterate that. And Ten Hag's my guy. I've backed him up. I've said I liked what he's done. I think some of the criticism of him is over the top. Some of it is justified. But with that, if he didn't say anything, all he had to say was, I left him out for tactical reasons. And this is not a conversation. That's the easiest way to deal with it. If they would have asked him again, tactical reasons, I've answered your question. Next question. That's on the manager. He didn't have to say what he had to say. It's not, and you can critique privately as well. That's how I look at it. And to Bob, who says Sancho was impatient. Now he could have had a chance to start games for United as Anthony is off. I don't think it's a question of him being impatient. I think he didn't respond because he was I think he is frustrated about other things because he said it in the statement. But he responded to what the manager stated. Because people ran with that. We've seen what happened immediately after that. People automatically talking about him being a bad trainer, bad attitude, and all these reports that come out talking about him not being a talker and, you know what I'm saying, not talking to staff and all this type of rubbish. Defend yourself at the end of the day. Like, I'm all for anyone defending himself. Yeah, go on.
But even on that, like, I'm baffled. Like, when I was reading some of this stuff, I was like, all right, like, I mean, is he obligated, like, to do all of it? Like, is it in the contract that I must talk to these? Like, you could just be a shy person in a general sense. Remember, I'm just a human being at the end of the day. So his whole personality might be, I'm that type of individual. I keep myself to myself. I saw the thing about the whole Adidas thing, and he didn't want to do the interviews, or he didn't want to be asked questions and stuff like that. I was like, but that makes sense though. I.e., he's not been there as long as Scott McTominay. I think it was Scott McTominay, Bruno Fernandes, and Marcus Rashford or something like that. He didn't want to do the interviews and stuff like that. He'd prefer if they just spoke with them. But that makes sense. He hasn't been there as long as those guys. Doesn't really want to do those kind of things anyway, because that's just not him in a general sense. Why is everyone getting onto him for that? Like, listen, with all these things, people are just coming out with every single thing, like every stick to try and beat this guy with. And I'm just like, yeah, you lot have got too much time on your hands, man. Like, you need to go and find a hobby, because he's not doing anything that he didn't do anything that I looked at and said, yeah, this is kind of long, you know. Like, maybe you should have kept quiet. Like, nah, he was calm. Even the pin thing, I would have just kept that. I'd be like, no, don't even take that down. Unless obviously the club have told you specifically take it down. And cool, fair enough. I don't know. But if not, bro, keep that. Keep that, man. Like, it's how you feel. Like, why are people trying to shut you up? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. And I think the only reason why he took it down was simply because they've had a conversation. Because obviously we're back in training, which then makes sense. But yeah, people were talking about, oh yeah, like he needs to take it down as disrespectful. It's like, no, that's the way he feels. Like you mentioned, he has every right to respond. Being manager doesn't mean the manager can say what they like to you and you don't respond. Like, managers haven't had back and forth with many a player before. It happens on a weekly basis, I'm telling people. Fergie, like whoever it is, Klopp, whether it's Pep. You think we've seen Pep with Cancelo? You don't think they had words? I'm saying Pep criticized Cancelo publicly when he said, I think it was Ake who scored. He was like, all players bar one will be happy for him. Yeah, that was hilarious, by the way. But like, yeah, it's gonna happen. Like that, playing professional sport at the highest level under immense pressure. So yeah, like what we talking about? Yeah, people are just,
and it worked. They won a treble.
Yeah, and it worked. You know what I'm saying? And it worked. Like, it's crazy. Like, people just doing too much in terms, like you said, G, he's not obligated to do any of that. People don't realize that some people are just shy. Like, and that's okay. Some people are just shy, and some people are just not talkers around, like, in work. You know what I'm saying? I suppose we all different in work. I've said this before, when I've worked jobs from 9 a.m. till 12:30, don't talk to me. And everyone knew that. That's not me being anti. I'm not a morning person. Don't chat to me. You know what I'm saying? In between those hours. I'm not trying to conversate. I'm not trying. Chat to me after 12:30. Like, once it's hit lunch times around, I'm still waking up.
That 12 o'clock, boy. You might
man, I just be like, yeah, you good, and that's it. And they knew that. Nothing wrong with it. There wasn't no angst with anybody. Why do you think I don't do morning streams? I'm not a morning person. It's not my thing. Like, and everyone's different that way. Like, some people are just talkers. Some people don't like talking outside of, like, their friendship and their circle groups. I bet if you chat to Sancho's man, them, he probably is a talker, probably runs bands and jokes. But, yo, if you don't want to talk to the kit, man, what's wrong with that? You know what I'm saying? He's not obligated to chat to man, as long as he's not rude and causing any issues. But, hey, that's people for you anyway. That's how people go on. But we'll go to it, Ram, because you mentioned it, not mentioned it earlier, mentioned it in the private chat in regards to the two teams who seem general consensus closest to Manchester City people look at is Liverpool and Arsenal. Where do you stand with that, Ram? You think you're better than Arsenal? I personally think you lot, unfortunately, are the second best team. You know what I'm saying, in the league. But, you know, we move. But what are you saying?
I think if we go through each team's squad capacity, the players that they both have, quality-wise is not very different. I think each team has their own strengths and their weaknesses. I think the one thing that will push Arsenal just that little bit ahead is the fact that their squad is a lot more reliable compared to ours. As in, ours tends to be a lot more injury prone, and others tend to be they tend to have to play into form, if you get what I mean. Whilst Arsenal have a little bit more momentum, they can come on and do their thing and just leave and then come back. Like, even Eddie Nketiah, who's meant to be backup, can come in and do a job very well, then come back out with Jesus. Is that kind of thing. That's what will probably push them a little bit ahead of Liverpool. But a lot of Arsenal fans, when I've had the conversations about both squads, they get a bit butthurt about the fact that I say the quality-wise is not too different. And I don't know why. They've been so butthurt about it ever since the start of the season. Like, most Liverpool fans weren't saying this at the start. Most Liverpool, actually, the people that actually talk about it a lot were the City fans. City fans were saying, I'm worried about Liverpool. I'm not too worried about Arsenal. I'm worried about Liverpool.
Yeah, because that's smart. You know what I'm saying?
And it's not just like a couple of City fans. It's all of them on the social.
It's pretty much most City fans, yeah.
Like Hamza, Big Steve, Patrick,
Yana said it as
Jan.
well.
Even to an extent, there's somebody else, a City fan, that's told me. Nobbins told me that it's Liverpool. It's all Liverpool, and I don't know why Arsenal fans get so butthurt about it. And I think it's the fact that they've always seen themselves as the closest to City, and when your actual contenders tells you it's not you, it's another person. I think that's why they just get a bit.
They forget.
Angry
I think
about it.
Arsenal fans forget that we've actually got players and the manager who are the only two team in the last few years to have gotten the better of City in one season. At the end of the day, like Arsenal haven't done that. You know, we still got players here: Alisson, Van Dijk, Trent, Robertson, Salah, who know what it takes to have beaten City to a title. And Klopp obviously is the manager. Arsenal don't have that at the end of the day. But I think the squad thing was interesting because Ram's right. A lot of Arsenal fans are getting quite hurt over even the suggestion that it might be a debate. They seem to think their squad is quite clear, and I don't see it that way. I think it's close, and I'd hear an argument for either way, to be honest with you. But I do think it's close. If you look at the keepers, Alisson Kelleher, I think overall is a better duo than Ramsdale Raya.
I think because Alisson's just the outlier.
Yeah,
in my opinion. Alisson.
Hey, Ram, what do you mean if you speak you're in big trouble? Say it off your chest. Get it off your chest, man. You know what I'm saying? The floor is yours. The floor is yours. Don't say it in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Say it on mic, on the channel. Let's go. Get off your chest.
That's an answer to Warrior J right there.
Why? What about Ram knows Arsenal fans? Yeah, nah, talk. Oh, he's talking about a gal. Hey, name names, man. We put bullets on names. We put names on bullets over here. You know what I'm saying? Word to Alam. We put names on bullets over here. You better put some name on those shots. You know what I'm saying? If you're talking to a gal, tell him, hey, shout out to a gal. But hold that, gal. He's talking to you. But go on.
Go on, right.
Oh yeah, but then you even look at the defensive depth, and Arsenal fans seem to think that their defensive depth doesn't even compare, like it's so clear. But actually, when you deep it, you got Gabriel Saliba. Obviously, you have to rule out Timber, and it's unfortunate that you have to. But the fact is, he's not going to be playing for the majority of this season, which is just unfortunate. But you have to rule him out of this. They got Gabriel Saliba as the centre back. They got Kivior as their backup. Like, who's this guy in it?
I've had the conversation. I've had the conversation with a gal, and we went through this entire thing. And I was like, "Look, Gabriel Saliba, I think they're a great partnership together. I think they're really good. I think Ben White at right back is really good, even though he's meant to be a centre back. Cedric is ass.
Yeah, he's crap.
Left back, as Zinchenko's okay. He's decent. And he says that Kivior is their backup left back, and I'm like, as a centre back, he's wank. As a left back, he's crap. He's just like, there's nothing. Take out one player from that team, then it all starts crumbling down. And
if you take out Saliba right now, they are like.
Well, we saw it last season.
Well, we saw it, yeah. And obviously, Timber was meant to come in and fix that, but it's just like I said, it's unfortunate. But you can't count him in this because he's missing pretty much most of the season now, which is just, like I said, it's just unfortunate. But it's just one of those things at the end of the day.
I think I kind of agree with what you guys are saying. My only thing is, I think Liverpool, in my opinion, have better players maybe like in our starting 11. So like the Van Dijk, the Alis, the Salahs, the Trents, the Robert, like starting 11, calm. The problem that Liverpool have that Arsenal don't have, Liverpool have too big of a gap when you try to bring a player in if that one player doesn't play. So Robbo to Tsimikas, the gap's too big. The centre-back situation is kind of a bit too big in my personal opinion. We don't really even have a right-back. I mean, we're putting Gomez there just for the sake of argument. No problem. Midfield, we don't even know what the midfield is, so I can't even really talk about that. And then the attack, kind of the same thing, really. But the attack probably is obviously our best.
I think the attack's a strong point for us.
Yeah. Attack's the best area where you can maybe... And there you go. But when I'm looking at Arsenal's squad, it's not even that they're better than us in terms of pound for pound, player for player. I don't think it's that. For me, their drop-offs are not mad though. Like, you're not talking about going from Ramsdale to Raya and thinking that like the gap from Alisson to Kelleher is way bigger than the gap from Ramsdale.
But is that because our better players, like you said, are better than their better players? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, because and I do think that kind of plays a little bit like I said, obviously Van Dijk is Salah and that. They don't have players of that kind of level in terms of that. Maybe Saliba probably and Partey, maybe that's about it. Like in
Odegaard,
terms of like
maybe.
real,
Odegaard probably.
yeah, but these are the only kind of players that you're looking at and saying, all right, cool, this is like the top quality, like, and Saka as well, sorry, like the top quality players. The rest, you're just like, I don't really know. I wouldn't call them that top quality. Like, I'm being a real, like, Declan Rice, I still need, he's never even heard the Champions League theme, so I can't even try and put that in the conversation. Odegaard, I like Odegaard a lot. I do think he's actually a top
I
class
think
player.
he's a good player. I think he's very,
But
very good. Yeah.
the gap between their players, they're all on the kind of the same level. So when they rotate, it's not a madness. It's not like they're rotating from, as I said, Alisson to Kelleher or Van Dijk to Kwanzaa, or like it's not a mad gap like where you're sitting there thinking, shit, yeah, this is kind of long, kind of thing. Their gap, their rotation options are like all kind of the same level, maybe a little bit lower, but not crazy. That's why I feel like they would edge it purely on that basis, because the team is still good enough to be able to challenge Manchester City. So even if they do rotate, it's all right. Or if they have an injury, it's okay. I'm not saying they'll win it, just to be able to rotate. Whereas with us, bro, we get an injury in certain areas of that pitch, boy, it's starting to look a little bit crazy in the team. All of a sudden, get one injury in midfield with the 10 million midfielders that we have. All of a sudden now, it just starts looking mad. Like, and you're sitting there thinking, do we have enough midfielders? Like, everyone's all panicking, and I'm thinking, I don't know about all of that. Like, I just think that's where I will edge them. But as Ryan said before, we are the only team to be able to challenge this Manchester City team in the last God knows how many years. We know what it takes to win a Premier League. We know what it takes to go up against Manchester City, where you're going week to week trying to win a game. Every time you win a game 2-1, guess what? Man City just won 5-0. How about that? And you have to do that every single fucking week. And you're just like, oh my days.
Match them. And
yeah,
they've
2-0 we win, 2-0 they win. 3-0 we win, 3-0 they win. And you're
they win like 2-1. We end up winning 5-0.
It's just dumb. And guess what? We end up winning 5-0, and their goal difference is still bigger than ours. And you're just like, this isn't even making sense. I'm not even catching up to these guys. Like, whereas Arsenal last season, granted, they did their thing. You get what I'm trying to say? But whether they're able to push on with that, that's where I'm looking at Arsenal and saying,
you also have to say this, G. When you say last season, and people say, oh, like last season we did that and all that kind of things. Last season, I'll say, compare it to this season, every single club has a target, and that target is Arsenal. And they're gonna be like, you're a team to beat. A lot of the teams like your Fulhams. You saw it with Fulham that they put in a brilliant performance, and obviously Palhinha put a man in the match performance, and they end up getting a point. All these kind of teams are gonna see you and be like, you're one of the best teams, and we're gonna make it hard for you. You're gonna have to work hard for your points. Whereas last time they'll be like 2-0 up in 10 minutes, and they're like, oh crap, what do we do now? And then they end up
I'm surprised, I've still got money on Manchester United to be up there, I know you might not think it, but I feel like they're that type of team. Even under Oli, bro, I've seen him go on like 20 game runs and that. Like,
to be up where top 6? Where are we going, G?
No. I'm not saying title. I'm not going that far. But what I am saying is that I just think that we might be discounting a lot of teams right now. Obviously, game week 5 game week 4 and 5 that we're coming up to now. We're dismissing a lot of teams. I'm just like, I wouldn't do that. Like, I feel like if Manchester United can click into gear, they will be a bit of a problem for a lot of teams later, because they can go on runs in seasons. I just don't know if they can sustain that though. But you will definitely go on a run this season, guaranteed.
I've still got United to finish 4th, but I think it'll be a big gap between 3rd and 4th. Do you get what I mean?
Potentially. And this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying people don't even try and, I'm not saying these guys are going to win no leagues. I don't think they're that good. You know what I'm saying? But I just think we might discount a lot of teams, because we're not. It's like you take the eye off the ball for a second. You're just like, oh yeah, no, they're kind of they're this person's gone, that person's I'm not really looking. I feel like there's components in that team where if they can just click, and I kind of saw it last season through periods of time. If that team clicks properly and they're able to just build upon what you did last season, again, just like Arsenal, it just depends on if you can build. But as Ray said. Liverpool have done this before. Like, we've literally sat in this stupid position trying to win from week to week to week to week. 18 games, unbeaten, won 16 of them, drew 2 of them. Guess what? Man City just won 18 out of 18. So it's like,
you just brought up You just brought up a great point, which is another difference between kind of Liverpool and Arsenal. Liverpool have been known to go on these mad runs of wins. Even you look at even last season, we were so shit last season, but somehow we go on some 7-game winning run in the league towards the end of the season out of really nothing.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, and that was a shit season, terrible season. We've gone on in the past few years like 17-game winning runs, 10, 11, 9-game winning runs in seasons. Like that's the thing. Liverpool, you can see them going on some sort of run this season, but with Arsenal, I think their largest consecutive winning run last season in the league was I think it was 7 or something. That's their biggest. So like that's another difference between Liverpool and Arsenal is that I think most people would back Liverpool to go on a run more than Arsenal.
In terms of discounting teams, can we discount Chelsea?
In what race?
Yeah.
In
In terms
to what?
Just in everything about the Premier League.
They won't get
Just
top
everything.
4 or anything.
No. I don't think they'll get top four.
Again, they click and the players can click. They've got ballers in that team. Like I don't think
the problem they have is they can't score goals.
Yeah, they ain't got goals.
They're us. I've said this. The biggest issue that I have with Manchester United that I've said all summer long was we don't create enough, we don't score enough. And that's Chelsea for you. When you look at their team, I think Chelsea, the rest, goalkeeper, defense, central midfield, I think they're patterned pretty much. And then you get to their forward line and you go.
But you got
I think their goalkeeper's trash.
No. But I think he's good. I think he's good enough for them to finish top 4. They finished top 4.
No, I don't think so.
No, I think he's awful.
So you think he's worse? You think he's worse than Kepa?
That bad.
You think he's worse than Kepa?
I think he's just a little bit better. But then again, you're comparing Kepa was on the floor in terms of barometers of goalkeeper.
Yeah. So the point that I'm making is they finished top 4 with Kepa. So you don't need a top quality goalkeeper to finish in the top 4. If you're challenging and winning the Premier League, whole different conversation. The point that I'm making is from a defensive standpoint.
As when they had Rudiger, Thiago Silva, Christensen.
No, I don't think it's of that level, but I think it's good enough. And then you put
Caicedo
together and you
put I'd say this though, it kind of does matter when you've got other teams that are challenging that have good goalkeepers. As in, like Liverpool got the best goalkeeper in the world.
You're better, but the thing is, you're better than I think you lot. I think City and Arsenal are the 3 best teams.
No, but even then, I think United have got way better goalkeeper than Chelsea. Yeah, even Spurs have got a really good goalkeeper.
Hey, yo. The way you're talking about Sanchez, yeah, you would have thought this guy just came from non-league and bro, he's right, though. Like, don't listen like that.
He's not
I never rated him.
I think he's a decent goalkeeper. I think he's a decent goalkeeper.
Backup. He's a good backup in my opinion.
Sounds like you're talking about
the point I've seen this guy make so many houses.
The point that I'm making is when you look at their goalkeeper, you look at their defensive players, so like the players centre backs, full backs, and you look at then add Caicedo and Lavia in front of that as well. They don't concede. Even last year, they didn't concede a lot of goals.
Chelsea's that Elanga goal, the way my man dived, and it was still in the middle of the net. No,
it didn't have much power on it though.
It wasn't like a Rooney. It wasn't like a Rooney finish where
people doing too
that.
Much, man. That's not his fault.
Yeah.
All that went on, and we're gonna look at the goalkeeper. That's a good finish.
I think
you guys are being too nice.
Flawless. Do you know when you spoke about Lavia there? Do you even think Lavia, even when he's fit, will be a regular starter for them? Because I reckon they play a double pivot, Enzo Caicedo, and then they play when Nkunku eventually comes back. In January, he'll play as a 10. And where does Lavia exactly fit in? Because we all know Poch's formation is 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, but that's with he might switch it up, but that's without obviously you put in Nkunku in the mix. That's a whole different scenario, and I believe he can play out wide as well. But I'm saying with everyone fit, you just play those 3 in midfield. You play Caicedo.
I think he should. Yeah, I don't think he will.
I think Nkunku's going to go up front. I actually don't think he'll. I think he's going to play up front when he comes back.
That's a shout.
He might.
I think he will have to be like. The guy is a guarantee.
Remember when Nkunku played for Leipzig, even though he at times played as a false 9, quite a lot of the time he played with a big man up front as well.
Yeah, so you get someone in and around him who's relatively good in those kind of things.
As in, like, we're talking like a Giroud kind of player or like a Heskey kind of player.
That's why
the big guy that would do a lot of the hard work.
That's personally why I would write off Chelsea, because I just don't think they're gonna score enough. That's why I would write them off for top 4. That's why I'm
No,
saying
man,
they
there's
will
something
finish.
about Chelsea, man. I like Chelsea, like the players that they've got. I feel like they've got like some real gems in there. But
Agreed.
you're right, they just won't. Maybe they just won't really. You know what I
Like if you
mean?
put a bad boy number 9 in that team, oh, they set. I said this. If
Yeah,
you put
yeah,
take Ivan Toney from Brentford and you put Ivan Toney in that side
yeah.
and you got Sterling the other side of him
Hart
and
and
then you got
Kunku will
Enzo,
love Tony,
Lavia,
man.
and then Kunku and you have Enzo and then you got Silver and Colwell and Reece James and Gusto. All of a sudden you got a team. But that bad
Yeah.
boy number 9 is a miss. I've said this. That fears me that they could go and get
I
Ivan
think they
Toney.
will
Same
get
way with
Tony.
Arsenal as well. Because Arsenal
think they
being
will get him.
that frightens me if Arsenal go and get an Ivan Toney because then your front three is Saka, Martinelli, Tony with all the guys behind it. That's serious.
Arsenal's so weird. Like you mean to tell me there's bare strikers in the world, but you decided to keep Nketiah? And no disrespect to Nketiah because he's not a shit striker,
I
but
actually like
all
Nketiah.
of the strikers in the whole world that you and the
Yeah.
money that you're splashing in this summer. You mean you couldn't go find a better striker than Nketiah? Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that man
I
said
feel like with
Laverty.
Arsenal, they won't even sign someone like Tony. Man. I feel like he would just go Chelsea. Like, straight away.
I hope not. I want him out. You know, I've said this for the longest. I've been talking about
I
But
reckon
that's a
Tony's
smart
goes
signing for
Chelsea.
you. I don't know why you man are not doing these type of signings. Like you guys are
G
going
because
out.
we don't make smart decisions. That's why we don't make smart decisions.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why.
yeah.
Do you feel if Ivan Toney wasn't banned, you would have gone for him in the summer?
Maybe it's a potential.
Yeah,
All I can say
maybe.
is maybe because we have been linked with him. He seems to fit like he would fit what Ten Hag would like.
Yeah.
He's in the Premier League, so who knows? Because his players.
Like,
so, yeah,
I do feel you would have gone for Kane a lot more if I thought you find out what did you talk about FFP or something like that.
Yeah, with them. I just don't think we would have splashed what Spurs wanted. I don't see us splashing
100 mil,
100, 130, 140 M's on one player. I just don't see us doing
Yeah.
that.
You would have to do the
really
final
don't.
piece, like the jig, like the one player
Yeah.
that you needed in the summer, and then you'll just go back.
Yeah, and he wasn't the final. That's the way people was talking about Kane, like he was the final piece of the jigsaw. And I said it all along. I said, no, he's not. I said, he's not been a needle, and people love to defend him. He's not a needle mover for Spurs. Why is he going to come to Manchester United where we're in disarray as well and be a needle mover for us? Because if we sign you for 100+ million, let's say it was 120, I'm not hearing the rest of the team's not good enough. If you sign in for 120 million and you're world class, which he is, and you're one of the best strikers in the league, which you are, and you're one of the best strikers in Europe, which he is, because I'm a big fan of Harry Kane, but deliver. I've said this already. He should have delivered for Spurs, not necessarily a Prem or a Champions League.
But win an
you're
FA
good enough
Cup
to win.
or something.
You're definitely good enough to win an FA Cup and League Cup. 110%.
Because they've
I
had
watched
some
Jamie
bad
Vardy do it
exits
for
as
Leicester.
well.
They've had terrible exits, but people don't want to talk about it. They went out to Nottingham Forest and Sheffield United this last season.
They went
and
out
he
to
played in both
Middlesbrough a
those
couple
games.
of years ago.
Middlesbrough, you get what I'm saying? All them things. He's the best player on the pitch. Went out in the Champions League to AC Milan. People will tell you he's the best player on the pitch over 180 minutes. Deliver. Leao did. When AC Milan played Napoli, Leao delivered.
Yeah, that's true.
He delivered over those 180 minutes. And it's not necessarily about winning. It's about impact. I say it all the time. Impact the game. Be the player where it's like, if you lose, you go, right, such and such was. Like Mbappe, after
In
they
the World
lost the
Cup
World
final.
Cup final, his stock went up. Because everyone was looking, everyone knows I'm a massive fan of Mbappe. He's my current favourite. I was looking at him going, you need to step up at this moment. Your country needs you. And he did that. And his stock rose even in losing because it's like, right, you impacted the game. So you're telling me that Mbappe can do that, but Harry Kane, who people will say is also world-class, can't. So that's why I looked at the Harry Kane thing for the prices they was talking. And that's just any player. If I'm spending 100 million on you or 100 million plus, I'm not hearing any excuses about the team, about the manager, about where you're playing. Deliver because you've cost 100+ million, especially attacking players as well. But people want to cuddle players and be like, oh nah, it's everyone. That's what I didn't like about Kane at Spurs. It was always, oh, it's Spurs' fault. Spursy this, Spursy that, Daniel Levy, the other players, the manager. What about him? Like,
He's a
that's how I
bottom.
look at it, but
Yeah, I
he's-
agree.
Yeah.
When you've got 100 million plus pound players going to clubs and, you know, giving away a penalty in his first game and letting Elanga dunk on your head, you know, like, bro, you can't be having excuses, man. That's all.
Yeah.
So I had to get that in, man. I've got such a Caicedo agenda. I can't even lie.
Nah, yeah, I know. You
I'm not stupid. I know he's going to come good because he's quality in it. He's cost that money.
Yeah.
You know,
I wanted him at
the
United.
bullet. He
yeah,
will
like
come good, but whilst
a
he's
quality
not,
player.
I'm going to enjoy it.
I'm saying, nah, of course, it was hilarious to watch. You know what I'm saying? And that everyone's watching all of his mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Like the one against West Ham, the one against Forest. I watched them both. I was like, oh, like
That
he's going
Forest
to get.
one, the way he just
Yeah.
miscontrolled it.
It was a good
With
goal,
someone,
though, the first goal.
with someone
Go on,
like Caicedo, you know what's going to happen. Yeah, it's like you said, right? Like, yeah, right now he's doing shit, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
What's going to happen is it will just go under the radar, and in like 6 months' time, out of nowhere, you're just gonna be like, yes, he might be one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. Like it will just happen
Yeah.
one day. You'll just be sitting here having a debate about midfielders, and then he will just come up, and you'll be, and then someone will say, someone won't remember the 6 months that's just preceded. So you'll be like, nah, go back through the game because you'll only remember the shitness that he was at the beginning of his time at Chelsea. Then you'll start going back through games and start thinking, shit, you know what? Yeah, he's actually as good as we thought he was going to be. But yeah, right now, yeah, we have to laugh. Like, if you don't, then you're going to miss out. Because when he becomes good, it's going to be long.
Thing is, it was just annoying with the whole Caicedo thing because it wasn't even the Caicedo thing that really... obviously, it hurt a bit because for a few hours it seemed like we were getting him at the end of the day. But I got over the Caicedo thing. It was the Lavia thing that pissed me off just because of losing them both like that. It was just... We should have had Lavia in the bag for a minute. And you know what it is? It's like Caicedo is much... I would have much rather had Caicedo, obviously. But do I honestly think Caicedo is 60 million pounds better than Lavia? I don't think he's 60 million pounds better than him. Like, I'll be honest with you. Like, I would have still taken Lavia 100%. Like, but the club fucked up over 4 million.
I still feel that Chelsea just did it for banter.
Chelsea definitely brought Lavia to piss us off as well. Like, there was definitely an element of getting back at Liverpool. I'm telling you, bro.
It's crazy. Hey, before we close out, though, still over 70 of you lot locked in. Only at 35 likes, though. Like check 1212. Like check 1212. Let's bump up to 50 likes, people. Let's hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button on the channel. Make sure you subscribe to G's channel. Can one of the mods put his channel in the comment section? Make sure you subscribe to the Ram Stand as well. Link is in the title, people, as well. And yeah, Victoria, forgot about that Chelsea. Was it Chelsea or was it you lot? Yeah, it was you lot. Because I remember Hassam shouting at me about Tyler
No,
Adams.
it was Chelsea. Chelsea.
Was it Chelsea linked with
Tyler
Tyler Adams?
We're going to buy Tyler Adams. He had a medical and then they pulled out of the deal so they could get Caicedo. And then what happened was we weren't even... I think Paul Joyce in an article, he said it as a kind of Liverpool could go for Tyler Adams. It seemed more of an opinion.
Yeah.
But we actually never went into it.
Yeah, because Hassam was big because all that broke, the Tyler Adams thing broke when we was on Battle of the North. Shout out Matisse, daps the whole. And I remember him shouting at me about it. Like, I was like, yo, why?
You know what? I was on holiday.
Yeah, I was on holiday
and it stressed me out for like an hour. And then I heard he was going Bournemouth, so I calmed down.
Why did it stress you
out? And the next
man?
day we got Endo. Fucking.
There you go. See, you should have got Tyler Adams. Game out.
Adams over Endo though.
Yeah, facts.
I would have taken
Adams out of that shithole that is Leeds United. You know what I'm saying? You should have took one of their players. We don't need them back. Fuck Leeds. You know what I'm saying? I
still can't believe we actually brought Endo as of the end.
Yeah, then he went Bournemouth, Victoria. Hold that. I'm glad he went Bournemouth. You know what I'm saying? But now I hear what you're saying in regards to Tyler Adams, and I remember you lot getting linked with him. I remember Hassam losing his mind, and it's like it's not like you lot made a bid. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't even think we ever really went in for him or anything like that. It was just that I think Paul Joyce just said it as an opinion because he was available and he would have been cheap. Do you get what I mean? I think he just suggested it and people just got worried because Paul Joyce said it. Like, yeah, I think it was more of an opinion, to be honest.
But before we close out, your next game is
Wolves.
Away at Wolves, right? Away at 3 o'clock kickoff.
No, Saturday 12:30. Oh, fuck Saturday.
You lot the early. Oh, yeah, you lot the early.
I hate Saturday 12:30s now, you know.
Why do you
especially away from home as well? Man.
Yeah, away.
It's Wolves,
you know
man.
how bad we are away from home on Saturday 12:30s. We lost to Forest and Bournemouth away last season.
So this is not a 30 win. This is not a 30.
It's definitely not a 30 win by any stretch.
Nah, believe it or not, I actually think we'll win because I think we're better than last season.
It should be. It should be a 30 win.
Prediction.
Not going to be.
Prediction, Ram. You know what I'm saying? Prediction. Wolves, Liverpool, 12:30 early kickoff. Premier League football back, ladies and gentlemen.
1-0.
Wolves. All right, jeez. You know what I'm saying?
Liverpool. Don't do that.
What do you mean, don't do that? You just said you weren't confident, so I just assumed you was going to go.
Yeah, I said it wouldn't be a certified win. Doesn't mean that it was still I don't think we'll win. It'll be a hard win. Hard fought 1-0 win.
Hard fought 1-0 win in the Midlands, yeah? All right, cool. Ryan, what are you saying?
I'll go 3-1. We'll definitely concede because I think we're going to put if Trent's out, we're going to have a potential back line of Gomez at right back, Matip, Kwanzaa, and Robertson. Like,
who's Kwanzaa? Who's that?
He's a
Yeah,
young
it
centre back.
doesn't even matter. At this point, it doesn't even matter, bro.
Man said it don't matter, you know.
It doesn't
He's a
even
young
matter.
centre back.
Gee, don't do that, bro. Don't do
Canate's
that.
injured and
Bro,
Van
it
Dijk
doesn't-
suspended.
Who's Kwanzaa? Yo? I don't know who that is. I'm being
He's
silly.
he's
I actually like
young
Kwanzaa.
player.
I actually
He's
like
he's
him,
he's
but-
a very good young centre
Is
back.
he what is he through Melwood? Is that where he's come from?
Yeah, he's through
Yeah.
Melwood.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually
okay,
like
fair.
him, but
Yeah.
yeah, like come on, bro.
What,
Like
Trent's injured
Really see more.
as well. When did
yeah,
Trent?
he went off against Villa. Yeah,
Oh,
I
right,
do have
okay,
a feeling
okay.
he could be back this weekend though.
All right, so your back four is going to be Gomez right back, Matip, Kwanzaa, and then Robertson. All right,
Yeah,
first.
potentially. Mind you,
Could be
I
alright.
just don't think Wolves have a good attack in it. Like they should have beaten you, but they just miss hella chances. Like,
Yeah, they miss.
but
hella
and our
chances.
attack, our attack just kind of gives me confidence against most teams. To be honest, like even if some of them aren't performing, like I can't tell you what front three we're gonna put out on Saturday because we got options in it. Like I know Salah's gonna play obviously because it's Salah, but like whether it's Nunes down the middle, Gakpo down the middle, I don't know in it. But we got options from the bench as well to make a difference. So I love the attacking options we've got.
I don't
to
think
be
Mac
honest
is
with
going
you.
to play.
Yeah, same because the guy played it for Argentina against a team that was 11,000 feet over sea level,
Yeah, it's
bro. Like
Bolivia. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's
He
crazy
ain't playing
over
on
there in South
Saturday.
America.
Man had
So
to
no
wear an
McAllister.
oxygen
So
mask.
who's in midfield? It's Endo.
I reckon Gravenberch starts this
Graven
one.
Birch starts.
and
It's
Szoboszlai.
Szoboszlai. Yeah.
Graven
Yeah, I
Birch,
haven't watched him,
Szoboszlai, and
Endo.
And,
Curtis Jones.
no,
Even
no,
I think
Curtis
would the
Jones.
Thiago be back?
I think it would be
What?
Graven Birch, Curtis Jones, and Szoboszlai.
Oh, Curtis Jones, yeah. Curtis as well. Bajkatic and Thiago, I think, are back as well. Although
I
I'm
wanna see
surprised me,
him back to his
Bajkatic
fit.
hasn't got like even a sub appearance recently,
Mm.
even though he's been in the squad for like the last 3 games. So.
Fast. What you saying, G? Prediction?
I think we win. I think we should win. No, let me not say because I don't think we win, but I think we should win. So I would say 3-1. I say 3-1.
3-1.
I think
Confidence.
we
What are you guys going
should.
for?
If we don't win, listen, you see all of that Kwanzaa and all of this, yeah, then you'll know why I keep kicking my feet, and then you'll understand. But
Is he that bad?
Bro,
Is he that bad?
no.
No,
It's not about him
No,
being
he's
nice.
actually
He's just a
good.
hater,
I
man.
actually like him.
No,
but
no. It's not about being a hater, bro. It's just about now. Do you understand what I mentioned before about Arsenal's drop off and Liverpool's drop off? So you've gone from
Yeah. I get that.
Canate to Kwanzaa. That's too big of a gap. I'm sorry. That's not to say Kwanzaa is dead. It's just that's
Yeah.
too big of a
No,
gap.
but I understand that. But you could also argue that about Arsenal as well.
Nah, there's no gap that they've got that goes from Canate to Kwanzaa. Who's the gap in their defense?
Gabriel gets injured. Sorry,
Yeah.
Saliba gets injured. Sorry.
To kill
Yeah,
you.
they got
Yeah.
and
To give you.
you've got Ben White can slot into that position. You've got Tommy
True.
Aspin can slot into that position. Calm. I'll be super happy if that was my backup. Super. You'll do that every day of the week. You'll do that. Of course you would.
Look. G is obviously
right.
hating
G's-
because of
nah, G's
me,
right.
myself, and JJ
What
have got
does it
stocks
say,
on
bro?
Kwanzaa, yeah. And ever since then, G's just been on our
I-
case about Kwanzaa.
Listen, I like most of these players. But what I'm saying is, you're talking about the gap. Remember, we're trying to go through everyone's talking about going through the leagues and stuff like that. If man's got to rely on Kwanzaa, I'm just like, yeah. Bear in mind, he's the same age as Levi Colwill, and people want to Levi Colwill. Look at the level of Levi Colwill, and look at the level of Kwanzaa. There's levels to this. Man can't compete on that kind of like. Man's 20, and Colwill already looks like, yeah, I'll take him today. Kwanzaa, you're like, all right, I need to see you for like 10, 15 matches just to see if you can be a backup player. Yeah, there's levels to this, man. There's levels to this.
people get excited about Kwanzaa because he looks like Van Dijk as well. It's like, oh, Van Dijk's son. And
Exactly.
everything like
Yeah, I
that,
mean,
like-
yeah, but he's not a rubbish player though. Like he's
No,
not,
that's the thing. I think he's good from what I've seen. I actually like him. And I'm excited to see him in Europa. That's where he should be getting his game time. Get your game time in Europa League group stages. Like, I'm actually excited to see him in that. But to throw him in the start in a Premier League game, bro, like, you got to be worried because he's still improving at this level at the end of the day. He's still only 20. Like,
All I'm
you can't be putting that
saying
much
is-
pressure on him.
All I'm
You
saying
sold on
is,
Kwanzaa in it. Go on,
G,
Ram. Say, get it off your chest. Go on. I can see you smiling man,
joking.
where your eyes have lit up. Nah, man, you're a fan of Kwanzaa. Don't hold back. It's
Nah,
okay, man.
Don't be quiet now, my brother. Like,
No,
No, yeah, don't be quiet now.
Ram, I literally texted you about Kwanzaa. I'm a fan of him as well. That's
There we
enough.
go, man. You were right on the train with
This
you.
is pure lies. This is pure lies.
Yeah, but I just don't want us to put
right.
that much pressure on him.
It's pure
This is-
lies
this
from
is-
you.
This is pure lies from Flawless. Everyone knows that
What
I
did-
rate Konsa.
What
However-
did I lie about?
however-
Wait. Hold up. Hold the phone. What did I
however-
lie about?
However,
What? No,
However-
not the however. What did I lie about? What did I lie about?
that I don't think that I think Kwanzaa's going to be that.
No,
I
I'm
think Kwanzaa's
asking.
ready to start for the. For
I'm
Liverpool
asking. This is
Football
the
Club.
first time I've heard of him. You know what I'm saying? The only thing the Kwanzaa I knew before this was an alternative to Christmas. What are we talking about? You know what I'm saying?
This
It's only
guy.
Kwanzaa I was aware of.
Here we are.
All I'm saying.
That's all I'm saying.
In seriousness,
Victoria, shut up, man, but I
G
was
does
like,
have a
go
point.
on.
G does
Go
have
on.
a point. As in, like, I'm the same as well. I mean, no matter how much I rate the guy, or no matter how much stocks I have in the guy and whether he's going to do well or not, I'm very protective when it comes to youngsters playing for the first team minute. Like,
I like that, man.
If you're like, you can't rely on them to play in week out unless they're going to be like generational players, you know. And I don't think Kwanzaa's going to be a generational player. I think he's going to be a very good player. But I don't mean that you go slap him
So I
into.
was right then. That you think he's a good player then?
Yeah, but then you just twist
what
it,
did I
innit?
lie?
But
How did I
he's not
twist it?
ready to. He's not ready to play for Liverpool Football Club at this moment.
I never said you said he was. I'm just guessing by your response that you think he's good enough to play right now, and you agree with me. See how this works out?
No, I don't think he's
I
ready
agree.
to play.
So you don't think he's good enough for you to go and get a result at Wolves?
I don't
So
think he's
you-
ready to play at this moment. I think he's ready to play in terms of Europa, FA Cup,
Yeah, but
League Cup,
you predicted a 1-0 win, so it can't be that detrimental to the team.
because we got Alisson Becker, man.
Yeah, so you're good then. You know what I'm saying? He's calm. He's
No,
not that
but I
detrimental
told you
that
it's
he's
gonna
costing
be.
you points.
I'm gonna have bare heart attacks during the game, bro. I don't want any heart attacks. It's 12:30, bro. I don't want to get any
You
heart
shouldn't have
attacks.
heart attacks, man. You should trust in Jurgen. You know what I'm saying? And trust in Alisson Becker, like you said, and the
Well,
rest of
if
your
you,
players.
Flawless, you know by now, being a Liverpool fan is never calm.
Thing is, our
Always.
midfield has to protect.
And Brian rates him as well, so that should give you confidence.
Yeah, I think he's a good player.
See?
But like our midfield has to protect the defense as much as possible as well, because I think that's one of the reasons why the Villa game we give Matip and Gomez so much credit, and they did play very well. But I also think they were very well protected by the midfield for most of the game as well. Like it wasn't like last season where we had a shit midfield and they were also getting exposed every 5 seconds. Like the midfield also played a massive part the other day. I mean,
Yeah,
against
Major
Villa.
Pops is terrible. My reputation precedes me, and I agreed with him. That's the crazy part. And he said I was twisted it.
Yo, I've got
I
a question
agreed
for
with
you guys about centre backs, right?
Go on, Ryan.
And
It's outrageous.
this might not go down well, yeah. But does anyone else feel that we slightly overrate Kanate?
Bro, I've said it 100 times.
Oh
bro.
no, you got the biggest one here.
Gene, like there's no man's BI business. Like, but he's a sick defender though. But
He is,
ask
I like him.
him to like, you know, back in the day when I was kickball, you know when he used to do like a drill where you would dribble like in and out of the cones. I promise you, Kanate is not doing that drill. Like he's
No.
100% He's
Passing
definitely
the ball, I'm a bit sketchy about. But when it comes to actually carrying the ball, he's actually quite decent.
He's a good ball carrier. He is
No, I
actually
think-
a
but
good
he
ball
cannot
carrier.
pass the
Bro,
same.
I think-
you know what he is? Okay, you know what? He's as good as ball carrier as Upamecano. Let's put it like that.
No.
I think he's a top quality player. I think the only
No, but
issue that
Flawless,
he
you
has
know
is
what
he
it
can't
is?
stay fit.
You know what it is with
That's it.
Kanate?
Go on.
Yeah,
Is that
he ain't watching the
I-
same player. I promise
Thing is,
Like,
with
look,
He
Kanate-
has
don't
been
get
on
twisted.
disposal
What you're
of
saying,
him
what you're
time.
saying, though, he is sick. I think he's a. I think in a back three, you can't play him as a wide centre back. In a back two, you can play him in a back two like that. As a wide centre back, he can't do that. Like it's all like
Are you
it's
saying,
all-
you saying he's not good enough on the ball? Is that your problem with him?
He's not good enough. He's not comfortable. You can tell he's not comfortable defending in wide areas. As soon as he gets out there, it's like nosebleed settings. Like he's treading water in the deep end. Like you can just see the uncomfortability. But put him in the center, yo, I'm good with that. I'm good with
No,
Kanate.
Do you know
I
what
can't-
it is with
no,
Kanate
but I
as
can't
well?
get
I
this.
do
G,
feel
can I say this though, G?
Same
If he
thing.
was to do the Matip kind of thing where he just goes on an adventure and gives it off to like Salah, would you be okay with that? Because personally, for me, I'd be okay with that.
Anyway, I've never seen him do it. I don't think.
Oh, because I've seen
watch
him
him
do it
closely. To
for
me, it looks
Leipzig.
good
His
when I
ball
watch
carrying
couple
is
times.
actually quite good sometimes.
Look what was in
Sometimes.
Leipzig. I don't care what we done for Leipzig. Like for Leipzig, so Borderline was a dope goal scoring midfield. Like he ain't coming in to do none of that stuff. Here.
And
Yeah, I'm
also
trying to
worked
say
out at the same time, G.
Nowhere near to the level that he's working at Liverpool. He wasn't.
Nah,
He didn't require it.
when you're playing for a Red Bull team,
he wouldn't have required to have done the same thing at Liverpool that he's been asked to do, that he was asked to do at Leipzig. Why wouldn't he? He was,
no,
like,
that's true.
he was the
It's true.
primary
But
player.
There's also when you're playing for a Red Bull team, you have to be built to.
Yeah, that's okay, and that's all calm. But when you come to Liverpool, you're coming into like a certain type of cog where one, you've got world-class players around you anyway. Salah's, we've got other players that can do exactly the same thing that you did at Leipzig that no one else could do. We've got that already. What, goal scoring? I don't need you to score goals. I've got Salah to do that. I've got PS to do that. I've got Gakpo. I've got Nunes. In terms of just being cover on the right-hand side for Trent, that's where we need you, though. We need someone a bit more athletic. We need someone with a bit of work rate. That's where he comes in. He weren't doing that at Leipzig to the extent that he's now having to do it here at Liverpool. That's why I say it's not like that. But back to Canate, if man's got to talk about what he did at Leipzig, that's like me saying, yeah, Messi at Barcelona was great. Like, what are you doing today? Like, I need to know today, can you do these things? He can't do them kind of things.
Would you argue because
defender though, like, man will never slate him and say shit.
But do you know what it is with Canate though? It's like, the thing is with me is that the on the ball, I know he's not great on the ball, but like that doesn't even bother me too much. Like, he's a centre back, so like if you can do your primary job, which is defend, then I'm cool. But like, I just feel like he's quality and he's a quality centre back, and for me, he definitely has the potential to easily be one of the best centre backs in the world for sure. But I just feel he still has a few too many bozo moments for me at times. Like, that's what it is. Like, yeah, he can be. Yeah, he just has a few too many bozo moments when it comes to his defending, and I just want him to cut them out.
Obviously, you lot are Liverpool fans, so you're watching him more closely than me. But from what I've seen,
he has his bozo moments at probably the best times, as in like we're winning 3-0, 4-0, and he just has those bozo.
No,
he doesn't. I can't lie. He hasn't,
and he's done the madness. I've seen us against Villa, and he's done the madness, and we didn't win those games in the slightest. And that's just 2 games I literally just dropped.
Bro, do you remember that Forest home game where we won 3-2 last season? Oh my days, he got bullied second half, bro.
Yeah, but I wouldn't.
Our needs a
bullied
unit.
Yeah.
I think our need bullies a lot.
He was shaky as well.
Our need bullies a lot of defenders. I didn't even know
but Canate was awful that second half against Forest, I remember. And then against Tottenham as well at Anfield, where we dropped the 3-goal lead. Man, he was shaky in that game as well.
If I wanted a centre back, like, you know, people use the debate was between Saliba and Canate. If I had to pick one for what I would want in a defender in my team, I'll pick Saliba every day.
I think Saliba's better as well. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, like, he's super comfortable. Don't even come out with a ball from the back. He's quick. He's strong. Like, he's not as strong as Canate. He's probably not as quick as a Canate, but he's still very, very quick. If man are saying like Canate, I'm just like, you look like you just have too many bozo moments. And then, as you said, Flawless, the brother can't stay fit at all.
Yeah,
that's my biggest issue with it. Because those two together as a partnership is cold, though. That idea of
Canate and Saliba as a partnership is cold.
Yeah,
as in, like, they're like, one is the aggressor and one is the passive. One is active, one is passive. That is the partnership.
Thing is, I still think Van Dijk is our best centre back. I genuinely still think.
I mean, it's not hard to really think about it.
That is true. It's true. It's not hard, but yeah.
Top quality, though,
but even then, Van Dijk's got the fundamentals. He's 6'4". He's relatively quick. He's good in the air. He's strong. He's got the fundamentals to be that. He just needs to be competent at tackling, and sometimes, most of the time he is, but sometimes he does.
He's too complacent at times now, I think.
He's like stupid stuff.
Aye, fair enough. Hey, love to everyone who's locked in. Like I said, make sure you bump up the likes, people, whether you're watching this live or watching this back. Share across all the socials. Subscribe to the channel Sarcasm City TV. Don't forget to subscribe to G's channel, GTV Football. Make sure subscribe to Ram's channel, The Ram Stand, as well. Don't forget we're on all audio platforms as well. SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to podcasts, type in Sarcasm City TV. And this show and all the other shows on the YouTube channel, apart from watch-alongs, will pop up on their people. But yeah, G, we'll go to you. Anything you want to add before we leave out, and let them know where they can find you, what you got coming up, all of that good stuff.
Yeah, GTV Football Channel. there in the name. So make sure you guys obviously head over there if you can. Smash a like to any
Make sure you
video.
do, people.
Yeah, big up Flawless. We meet every time. We got Ran. Like, it's a good chat, man. It's a really, really good conversation, late night vibe as well. This week, tomorrow we might have a talk about football. Is football becoming too artificial? So is it too becoming too like system? You know what I mean? Like where we don't see many good players who get to be free. You know what I mean? The Wilfred Zaha's, Ben Arthur's, Tarap, sorry. All these kind of players, they're all kind of just dying. Say Maxim, you like all these guys are going now. Yeah, I mean now it's all about I need you to play left wing, but when you play left wing, I need you to be able to do a job over that side. Back in the day, you think Giggs is doing all that kind of nonsense on the left wing? No way. I mean, it's not happening. And I think it's good. It would just be a good conversation to have to where do we think football's kind of heading, because that will also determine who we deem to be good players. Because if we're judging them by yesteryear, for example, in today's day and age, David Beckham would be a right back. He would not be playing right midfield because he wouldn't be quick enough. Like he would just in today's football, just wouldn't be deemed quick enough really to do a job there. You have to put him in like
midfield.
position.
Probably
Maybe
midfield.
centre midfield, maybe like a centre midfield probably position,
Probably midfield.
but he wouldn't be, in my opinion, like a right mid, kind of thing. I don't think that would be, because I've seen Jadon Sancho. He's not quick, but he's really good on the ball, and I just don't feel like he would fit what we're trying to do realistically here. But yeah, man, I think it'll be a good chat, and I think we're gonna do that tomorrow.
That'd be fire. So you lot make sure one of the mods put G's channel in the comment section. Make sure you go subscribe to his channel as well. Ram, what you got coming up? Let them know where they can find you, all that good stuff. The return of the Ram stand.
Yeah, man. I've got probably this week will be a preview of the Wolves game. I might do a stream on like international roundup, like how all the Liverpool players have done. Any news about Liverpool, and yeah, man, just a couple stuff that's going to be happening this week probably. So yeah, just keep a lookout. Ram stand, give it a subscribe, but you turn the notification bell on and all that good stuff.
Yeah, man. Large up to everyone that's tapped in. I know it's set on the upcoming live stream schedule Q&A. Probably run Pro Clubs people, so that's what you'll get tomorrow. Well, technically today now, and then obviously Thursday you'll get your Manchester one of the other crossovers, the Manchester United Arsenal show. So Man United gonna talk from the Arsenal. That'll be back Thursday night. But check out the upcoming live stream schedule. Make sure you follow the Kick as well, because that's where you'll get the non-Manchester United Premier League watch-alongs people. So of course you'll get what games are we even doing? Everton, Arsenal, and I think it's Newcastle, Brentford as well. I'm Bournemouth, Chelsea. I think they are the three I'm doing, people. We've got Brighton at home. 3:00 kickoff. Yeah, Brighton at home. So that'll be on here, people. But all of these are on the upcoming live stream schedule, like I stated. So yeah, the late kick on Saturday, which let me know in the chat. I'm thinking is it Brentford or is it Newcastle? Is it someone? I can't remember. Let me know in the chat.
Newcastle are playing Brentford.
Yeah, so it's the Newcastle Brentford game then. Yeah, that'll be the late kick we're doing on Saturday on the Kick. Make sure you follow the Sarcasm City TV Kick, and then the two games on the Sunday, I believe, which are Bournemouth, Chelsea, and Everton, Arsenal, I do believe. But Ryan, anything you want to add before we close out, fam?
Yeah, first it's great to stream with G for the first time. Big up you, brother. Like great stream. And also one final thing to Ram, his goal, falling further behind the real GOAT of tennis. 24th Grand Slam the other day. He was hurt. I knew he was hurt.
You're on mute. I mean, I've muted my thing, so I can't hear you at all.
Yeah, you can't.
But
He's smart.
I'm just saying he was hurt, man. He's having to accept, man, that maybe Nadal isn't the one, man. Isn't the one. My guy, 24 Grand Slams now. He's gonna win even more. I don't think there's a debate anymore, to be honest with you. So Ram, you can hold that, bro. I'm afraid, man. You've hated on my guy too much recently. I can't lie. You've hated on him too much.
Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? There we go. But yeah,
is
we're
it
gonna
done?
close out on that. Yeah, he's finished. He's done. He's done.
Okay, good.
He's done. He's done. And yeah, Victoria, definitely. I definitely shout you. I need to get you on the channel, 110%. And she also went on to say you all had great opinions on like some weird podcasts. Only the best here at Sarcasm City TV. Appreciate the kind words, Victoria. But yeah, only the best here. So large up to everyone who has locked in as well. And yeah, there was one comment I wanted to get to as well. Big up to Ravana. You said he's in Gibraltar. That's crazy that you watching all the way from Gibraltar. Just wanted to get to this as well. Said midnight show is perfect for a night owl like me, flawless, legendary stuff. Big up. That's crazy. I don't think we've ever had anyone watching from Gibraltar. So yeah, man, that's another country ticked off the list that's watching. V1, big up for the super chats. Like I said, big up all the mods, all the regulars, all the new people as well. It was good to see new usernames, new avies in the chat. Just keep tapped into Sarcasm City TV. We are closing in on 8,000 subscribers. Like I stated, check out the upcoming live stream schedule. Let you know all the shows that are coming up. Get over to the Kick as well. But this has been the Manchester United Liverpool show, Man United podcast, analysis and Anfield podcast, live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube. Big up for tuning in.